Well, I guess the news has leaked out. We are about to do our Wednesday night live show. We got a lot to talk about today, a whole lot of Jets news coming out, a little bit of controversy, just like it always seems to be in Jets land. And we're going to do our breakdown of safeties who are going to be available in free agency and in the draft. It is Wednesday night, and we are live. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watch2K99, and it is the highlight of my week, the Wednesday night live show, and I'm thrilled to be doing this show tonight. And oh man, guys, strap in, get some caffeine, do whatever you got to do to stay awake, because we're going to be here for a while, because we got a lot to talk about. So let's just get into one quick thing here. I do have one channel announcement. I do have some pretty exciting news. As of today, memberships are available, $4.99 a month, and you can do the whole thing, the emojis, the badges, the extra shout outs. I'll even put your name up on the screen at the end of every video, just something I could do for everybody else. So yeah, you should have access to some emojis, to some badges, if that's something you are interested in doing. Memberships are available, and you will get to be called a Wicker Clicker. That's right, the Wicker Clickers. I think that's going to be my name for any members who do choose to sign up. But all right, with all of that out of the way, let's get right into what's going on tonight. I don't want to wait any longer. Let's talk about a little what's on my mind with a little bit of what we like to call 3 and out. Talk real quick about the New York Knicks against the New Orleans Pelicans on Tuesday night. Knicks lose again, but I got to tell you, I'm still not worried, and I'm not going to be worried. No Jalen Brunson, no Isaiah Hartenstein, no Mitchell Robinson, no Julius Randle, no OG Anunoby. Health is killing this team. I'm not worried about where they are. They got to tread water for a little while, finish in the top 6. Let's go from there. Let's avoid that play-in tournament, and let's go to work. On to hockey, the New Jersey Devils absolutely trounced the hapless San Jose Sharks on Tuesday, a 7-2 victory out in California. Devils score 7 straight goals after falling behind by a goal. They are now 16-10-2 on the road. They are now 5 points back of a playoff spot. California trip continues Friday night against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, now the Anaheim Ducks. And as of about 20 minutes ago, we have a final. That's right. The New York Rangers defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets, getting a little bit of revenge for that loss on Sunday night in Ohio. Rangers win 4-1. I thought both goalies looked fantastic. Elvis for Columbus and Igor for the Rangers. Artemi Panarin opens the scoring. He would have 2 goals. Adam Fox on the power play. The Rangers played very well, I thought, through 2 periods. Took no penalties, outshot Columbus, out-hit Columbus, but they had to withstand a little bit of a run from the Blue Jackets. They score early in the 3rd period. It's a 2-1 game. Rangers kind of sat back, took a few penalties, had to defend the lead, but worked out. They scored 2 empty net goals, and that's another victory. So now it's 10 wins in 11 games for the Broadway Blue Shirts. And now they're going to have to up their game a little bit. They've got Toronto and Florida coming up. The Panthers, possibly the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. All right, guys, that is all we're going to do tonight as far as 3 and out goes, because we got to change the theme over right now. So you see that little blue right down there, right? Let's flip that over to green right now, because let's be honest, There's a whole lot of New York Jets to talk about, and let's get into it right now. All right, so let's get into some New York Jets. First of all, a very quick hello to Hank G. He is here first today. He beat out Jets Mess. Don't know what Mess has going on, but Hank G beats him out. He wins the prize for tonight. Harlan Abraham is here as well. Good to see you too, my man. I'm glad you're here. All right, let's get right into this content right now. And we're going to start with what has become a new tradition on the show. That's right. It is one of our brand new features. It is right up there with trivia and spinning the wheel. It is a brand new game, and it is called Who Left the Jets This Week? Who has left? So let's just recap where we've been over the last couple weeks. It started out with Rex Hogan, Joe Douglas's right-hand man. He is now gone. Then we go on to Joe Douglas's left-hand man, Vice President of Player Personnel, Chad Alexander, gone. And then we move over to quarterbacks coach Rob Calabrese. This could have happened a long time ago, but as of now, it is official. He is also gone, on his way to St. Louis. And now we move away from the front office. We move away from the coaching staff. And now we go forward to Laken Tomlinson. He is also now gone, and the Jets save $8 million on the salary cap. Every week, somebody is gone. Yep, Hank G, yep, on his way to St. Louis is Rob Calabrese to go coach with Mike LaFleur. Yep, on to the Rams. You know what I mean? St. Louis, yes. The Rams. You know, hey, like I still call the Chargers San Diego. I said St. Louis. What do you want from me? But Laken Tomlinson, who knows where he will be, but he will definitely not be in the green and white next season. Tomlinson, you know what? I'm going to take a step back on him for a little bit. Now, I will say this in all fairness. Tomlinson was not my number one target for the offensive line with free agency. James Daniels is who I wanted. He went over to Pittsburgh. But it made sense. Tomlinson had played in San Francisco, knew Rob Saleh, knew the system. Everything seemed to make sense. But you have to wonder, it's certainly not injuries, but is it age? Is it the fact that he played next to Trent Williams and Williams kind of covered up? You know, he basically would have made any left guard look pretty good by comparison. It just doesn't make much sense. I mean, figuring out why he struggled so much, you could come up with a lot of theories as to why. But Tomlinson was due to count almost $19 million on the salary cap. So now the Jets save $8.1 million. So they have a $10.7 dead cap hit for 2024. This is not something we've really seen the Jets have to, withstand over the last couple of years. They've had very, very little dead cap money. You'd have a couple of players with a few $100,000 here and whatnot, but nothing big. This is like the first really big cap hit they've had to take on. But, Tomlinson allowed 9.5 sacks in 2023, the second most among guards. So it was a necessary change, and I'm glad they're making that change. Hey, Ron, don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what the beef is over there, if it's about what's just going on in the news today. But, hey, we all have our own perspectives, and I'm here to give you mine. All right, let's get right into our favorite ex-Jet, the just wonderful person who's just a lovely man, Mecole Hardman. So he goes on some obscure podcasts that very few people know about and basically takes that time to rip into the New York Jets, talking about how Aaron Rodgers is the offense. Well, yeah, thanks for telling us something we didn't know, Mecole. We didn't know that. Talking about there's no standard there. Well, there really hadn't had a chance for a standard to be set up there when you had a new offensive coordinator, and I use those two words very, very loosely. You have a new quarterback and all these new pieces. Of course, they don't have a track record like Andy Reid had, like Patrick Mahomes has. Very few offenses in history have that kind of track record. But Hardman admitted, halfway into the season, he said, I was so checked out. It was over with. It's also been verified he did not want to enter a game as a punt returner after Xavier Gibson got hurt. Translation, this guy quit. Mecole Hardman is a quitter. I said it and I'll say it again. He quit. He is a front runner, nothing more. He talked about reaching out to Brett Veach, the GM in Kansas City. He talked about reaching out to Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, saying, come and get me. which is absolute tip. Now, here's the thing. Is it tampering when the team reaches out to the player? We know that's tampering, but is it also tampering when the player reaches out to the team? Okay. So now there's talk today, that the Jets are going to investigate this, bring this up to the NFL. They absolutely should. I absolutely agree with that. This is very, very, very fishy. Plus, you have Hardman leaking out the game plans for the games against Kansas City and Philadelphia. 2 games, one game of which the Jets won, and another game, Zach Wilson had his best game of the year. Very, very possibly. I froze for a few moments. Okay, I'm kind of watching down below. I'm following it on my phone too, but everything seems to be okay. But thanks for the heads up, Harlan. I'll be watching it on my phone here to make sure everything looks good. But yeah, Harmon leaking out plans, leaking out offensive game plans. What kind of person even does that? Who does something so stupid, so selfish, just so disrespectful? And as far as what's going to happen here with the investigation, I mean, what's really the best case scenario here? I don't think the Jets are going to get anything for this. Maybe Kansas City loses 1 draft pick, which would be at the end of each round anyway. So even if they take away a 5th round pick, what are we talking about here? Does it really, really matter? So I'd be surprised to see the Jets get anything, but who knows? But I will give the Jets credit for coming back at Hardman a little bit. Obviously, Joe Douglas, we'll talk about him in a moment, wasn't about to say anything in the press conference, nor should he. But Thomas Morstead, wow. Can we just give him like a 5-year contract like tonight? I mean, can we do something like that? I think it would only be appropriate. Morstead response to Hardman, be careful getting information from disgruntled former employees. Getting beat out by a rookie free agent after being guaranteed millions of dollars is tough to deal with. Entitlement is a killer of opportunity. You have to earn it every year. And McCole Hardman doesn't seem to get this. He talks about what kind of a winner he is, all the Super Bowls he's won. Well, how many of those Super Bowls has he really had a major contribution? What has he really done? He had one. We broke down his numbers after he left, after the Super Bowl, and we talked about what little of a role he really played in Kansas City's run to the Super Bowl. He made a couple of big catches in the Super Bowl. God bless him. That's going to be his whole career, his whole life. He'll never have to buy a drink in Kansas City again. He may never have to buy a slab of ribs in Kansas City again, and good for him. But come on. I mean, come on. Every single one of these players, he was what is a tag along? That is all McCole Hardman was for these teams. I don't know what equivalent I could get you, but think about like maybe the 12th offensive lineman on the New England Patriots roster. That's basically what McCole Hardman is or was up until the Super Bowl. And think about this. If Kadarius Toney hadn't been such an idiot, if he hadn't kept getting hurt, if he had absolutely no ability to catch a football, Hardman wouldn't have even been playing in that game. You've got to be kidding me with this guy going on there and ripping us like that. Sauce Gardner, he's the one who said it. We ain't going to talk about how our offensive game plan got leaked against the Eagles. He pulled the tweet and delete, but I'm glad he did because we ran with that one. So great responses by the Jets, but here's what bothers me. As big of a clown as McCole Hardman can be, the problem is these players talk to one another. And there is still the perception of the New York Jets that they are a train wreck, that they are a clown show, that they don't have their shit together. And that is what is still so frustrating. Some things have absolutely gotten better. Some things are still the same until they change them on the field. I know they've won 14 games the last 2 years. You know what? It hasn't been enough. It has not been enough to change things. And my concern is something like this does hurt in free agency with trying to get other players, but also keeping your own players. That's what scares me the most. Hopefully it's a whole lot of nothing. Hopefully these players realize that Hardman is just, is sour grapes that he's just venting. But I got to tell you, that is the one way that I am concerned about this whole story. All right, on to Joe Douglas. Now, he had his press conference, one of his 3 that he has a year, and he didn't say anything earth-shattering. He didn't say anything that, surprised me at all. He said they're not going to franchise Bryce Huff, And I don't think they should. For $21 million, I don't think it makes any sense to franchise Bryce Huff, good as he is. Talks are happening. They think they're making some progress. Well, we'll see. My hope is they'd be able to keep Huff for $15 million or less. Somewhere in that $15 million range, I think would be fantastic. But we will see. Again, there's a lot of very good pass rushers who are hitting the market. Young, Burns, Hunter, Allen among them. Bryce Huff is not the only excellent pass rusher who's going to be out there on the market. He said that Elijah Vera Tucker is rehabbing, that it's going well. He's not going to say much else about that, but he doesn't know what position AVT will be playing yet. That's fine with me. I think after we see free agency, we'll have a better idea of where he's going to play, and then I think we will know where he's going to play once the draft is done and the Jets have some new pieces on that offensive line. It's a major advantage that they are not as limited to the type of offensive lineman they could get, what position they could pursue, because you can put that player in wherever he needs to go and move AVT around accordingly. Such a great piece to have. Robert Saleh actually gracing Indianapolis with his presence. How nice of him to go. What a concept. He finally goes to the combine. I hope he likes the spicy cocktail sauce at St. Elmo Steakhouse. I can tell you, it's pretty good stuff. It's got a lot of horseradish in it, but if you have any trouble breathing through your nose, that will clear your nose right out. It is hot. It is pretty hot stuff. Yeah. I've been to Indy a couple of times. It's a nice, not too small, not too major of a city, is what I would say. But I've been there for both Jets playoff games. I went there for Knicks Pacers, one playoff game one time. So for the most part, it's been, people have been, it's a pretty cool town to go to. It's not that bad, but there's only so much to do. You can go there like once and then don't go back for like a couple of years and you will not have missed anything there. All right. And of course, we also know Zach Wilson has permission to seek a trade. Again, I don't think it's going to be for just a 7th-round pick. My hope is it's maybe the Jets package one of their 7th-round picks and Zach can maybe get a 5th, possibly a very high 6th, something like that, or maybe a conditional 6 that could become a 5 if he plays enough games. Something like that is what I would expect. Okay, and then you have MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He was just released today by Kansas City, saving them $12 million. Another wide receiver who had almost no role whatsoever in the Kansas City offense, but made 1 or 2 plays at the right time, and people seem to think that he's a weapon. Guys, let's talk for a second about MVS. Buffalo Jets fans said it. I'm going to echo exactly what he said, just put it in my own words. MVS is 29 years old, and he's a receiver who relies solely on speed. Okay, he played 16 games this year. He was targeted a grand total of 42 times. That's not a whole heck of a lot. And remember, Travis Kelce missed a portion of the season as well. And on those 42 targets, he had only 21 catches for 315 yards and a whopping 1 touchdown. 1 whole touchdown. That's as many as Alan Lazard had this year, okay? Oh, my gosh. MVS is not productive. He's no more than a wide receiver number 5. If he's willing to come to the Jets for, like, say, $2 million or something like that, as maybe the 5th receiver, have a chance to win a job, fine. I would rather just get a burner late in the draft with one of our late picks. Just pick some raw receiver, like a Cornelius Washington from Michigan, a Ryan Flournoy from, I think, like Southeast Missouri State or wherever he's from. Draft one of those types of guys. I have no interest in MVS. Very, very next to if you could release him with no guaranteed money, fine. For like $2 million, fine. That's about as far as I would ever go with MVS, but don't count on him to do anything for you. Okay, and let's say a quick hello to the great Johnny Jimenez. What's up, buddy? What, my fellow Virginia Jets fan, one of the absolute greats out there. Harlan with a thought on Bryce Huff. $15 million would be near the top of what he could expect. You may be right, but you know what? There's 2 things to factor in. Salary cap's going up. Teams can afford to pay more money than they normally would have in the past. And the other thing to factor in is that the price of a pass rusher is going up too. So I think $15 million would be fair for both sides, considering the amount of time that he's played with the Jets. But hey, here's the other thing with Huff. What does he really value more? I know he wants to go to the highest bidder, and he has every right to do that. But does he care more about the money or does he care more about playing time? Does he want to go to a team where he would play 80, 90% of the defensive snaps? Because that is never going to happen while he's a Jet. He is going to play about 35, 40%, and that's it. But you got to wonder, the fact that he played only 35, 40% of the snaps, did that make him better as a player? Because he wasn't fatigued, he wasn't worn out, he was fresh, and maybe that helped him. So all of these things have to be factored in, and you just have to wonder what Bryce Huff at the end of the day is really going to prioritize here. It's something to really think about. David D., good to see you as well. Glad you're here, my friend. Glad you're here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to move on to the next part of our show. We're going to talk about the main theme of the night. We've been doing these position breakdowns for like the last 5-6 weeks. We've broken down just about every major position the Jets are going to have to pursue, with one exception, and we'll get to that one a little bit later on. But we're going to talk about one. This is kind of like a defensive tackle for me, the same line, where the Jets have one player coming back, but after that, you got a lot of question marks. And that position is safety. So first of all, before we know what is out there, we got to take a look at what we have at that position. So what do the Jets have at safety? Well, first of all, here's some numbers. The Jets finished 31st in missed tackle rate. Translation, they didn't tackle well at all, and that led to some chunk plays happening. They were 21st in yards per target allowed when they were targeted, but there are some good numbers. They were 4th in run stop rate and only 9th in penalty rate. So they didn't take a lot of penalties, but the tackling has to be a lot better, and you can put a lot of blame for that on Jordan Whitehead. I think also Adrian Amos, another person who needs to shut the hell up. But also then you have Chuck Clark's injury. That had a lot to do with it as well, because when Chuck Clark went down with his ACL injury, the Jets lost a really, really good tackler, and that's something we never really got to see. All right, so we definitely want to up that tackling ability. So returning in 2024, we know we got Tony Adams, played 15 games in 2023, 82 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 3 interceptions. Not bad at all, including the pick 6 against Philly. Got to point that one out. So I guess McCole Hardman didn't plan on that happening. Hey, did McCole Hardman leak the play where Jalen Hurts threw the pick 6? Did he happen to leak anything there? I'm just wondering. We also have Jarek Bernard-Converse, who's more of a cornerback safety hybrid. 8 games played, only 2 tackles. Not much to say about him. We'll see if he can take a step up year 2. But then you got a lot of free agents. You've got Jordan Whitehead. You've got Ashton Davis, and you have Chuck Clark. I'm very confident the Jets will bring back at least one player. I think Ashton Davis and Chuck Clark have a good chance to come back, but I would feel best if they're in reserve roles, because Davis and Clark can have an opportunity to grab a starting role, but I almost feel better bringing in another safety to play alongside Tony Adams, because he's good, but how good? We're still looking to see what his ceiling can really be, but he is getting better and better, and that is a piece going into next year. But the Jets clearly need some depth at the safety position. All right, so let's X out of there. The great Papa Yete. Happy Hump Day is right. Yep, February 28th. We've got 26 more hours before the month of March kicks in, and it starts to get just a little bit warmer outside. Elon, you know what? Interesting you mentioned Geno Stone. We might just talk about him in a little while. So we're going to talk about the free agent class, and then we're going to talk about the draft class. I've got all these players ranked. I've got numbers, scouting reports. We're going to get into all of that. And, just a reminder, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit that like button. We get, I don't know. Yeah, I think we're going to do the same 15 likes. Maybe we'll do a mock draft. Maybe we'll spin the wheel. Of course, we have Jets trivia coming a little bit later on. But yes, definitely remember to hit that thumbs up button. All right. So let's talk about what's out there on the market, or what may be out there on the market. So we are going to start with 15 safeties the Jets could target in free agency. Yep, 15 of them, guys. Because, again, you can't spend premium money at every single position. The Jets are going to have about an average amount of cap room, considering the entire NFL. Somewhere you got to sign some players for a little bit lower cost. You may not be able to sign the top targets out there, but let's just see who they could possibly get. Now, my number 15 target would be Jeremy Chin from the Carolina Panthers. Now, I've got some grades up here so we can get to know him a little bit. He is 25 years old. On PFF, he's ranked the number 150 overall free agent. He's 150 out of 200. So Chin is more of that safety linebacker hybrid. He spent some time in the nickel spot. He's a very good downfield runner, likes to make those plays behind the line of scrimmage. Now I've got three categories that we're going to score here that I took from PFF: coverage grade, forced incompletion rate, and run defense grade. Kind of a good all-around feel. I was trying to find missed tackle rate, but I wasn't able to find that one. So 57.2 coverage grade, 8.3 incompletion rate. That's pretty good. And run defense grade is a 52. That's a total score of 117.5. A quick hello to the great Rising Rhino. Oh, he does. I'll tell you about Rising Rhino. He does a whole lot of live streaming. Usually he's got a Colts jersey on, but he does all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't checked out Rising Rhino, be sure to go over to his channel. Give him a follow as well. Give him a thumbs up. I'm glad you had a chance to stop by, Rhino. I'm glad you're here. What's the good word? Well, I just spent some time trashing McCole Hardman, and oh yes, one other thing I actually want to mention here. I want to make a quick aside right here in regards to Joe Douglas's press conference. Now, it's very easy to get on here and rip the media. It's getting easier and easier as time goes on to rip the TV stations, to rip the beat writers, to rip the radio stations. And actually, I just had a little confrontation on Twitter with a certain morning host on WFAN who chose to insult me. But Norman, go screw yourself. But that aside, Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata. Now, I will say this. Some people can't stand him. Some people really like him. I think they have their moments when they're good, and there's times they just really annoy the hell out of me. Brandon Tierney, this alleged Jets fan, this alleged diehard Jets fan, Brandon Tierney, who after Aaron Rodgers went down with the Achilles injury, was screaming, "Stop walking around, work like a loser," came up with a whole unkillable slogan, which became a T-shirt, which I admit I bought the T-shirt. I brought the black unkillable shirt. You might have seen me wear it on the show a couple of times because I like that. I like the attitude. He comes on and says the Jets are not only the biggest joke in New York City, they're the biggest joke in New York sports. Or all of sports, he actually said. Over a press conference, what did Joe Douglas do that was so freaking offensive? Because Joe Douglas did what he always does in a press conference. He said as little as possible. So to me, it is really sad how these radio stations, how these different people are dying for clicks. That's what it's all about now. It's not about good content. It's about these little sound clips and trying to shock people and get their attention. That's what, sports radio has devolved into. And to me, it's freaking sad. Really freaking sad. Tierney wasn't giving up after the Rodgers thing, but this press conference, this is what sets him over the edge. Get a clue, Brandon. All right, just had to get that off my chest. All right, number 14. I feel better after saying that. I got to tell you guys, that feels so much better. Quick Papayete. Oh, I appreciate the chatters Watts UK has. Small group, but always classy and respectful. The Gentleman's Club of Jets content. I've been called a lot of things. Gentlemen, not too much in the recent past, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I really want, we're going to disagree over opinions, and that is absolutely fine. But at the end of the day, here's what I remember. We're Jets fans. We want the same thing. We're after the same end goal. To see this team, well, two things. One is see this team become a prominent, respected, sustainable winning franchise, and then to win a Super Bowl. And we might have different ideas on how to get there, but that doesn't mean that you have to make anything personal. And that's something, that I also need to keep in mind. And now that I'm doing this, it makes me remember that much more. So, Papayete, no wicker chair emoji. You know what? So here's the thing with the emojis. I'm going to have to do that because I'm limited with the number of emojis I can have. So the more members you have, the more emojis you can create. So I think if I get two members, I can create a fifth emoji. And yeah, that you're exactly right. That would be the wicker chair. So yes, I definitely need to add the chair in, but I can't do that unless we have unless we get some membership. So hopefully that will happen. But again, no pressure. But if it's something you want to do for regular support, it'd be awesome. Okay, number 14, Brandon Jones from the Miami Dolphins, 26 years old. You know, he is one of 29 free agents on the Miami Dolphins roster. Now, this year, he played only 42% of Dolphin snaps, played a lot on special teams, 48%. So he played a good amount there. Pretty good all-around player. Pretty good. 61.4 coverage grade, 7% incompletion rate, and a run defense grade of 71.8, which is pretty solid. A 140.2. That's a much better grade than Chin. So it helps to take somebody away from Miami a little bit. He hasn't played much this year on defense. I think Javon Holland was playing a lot more, and there are a lot of times that he was just playing, single high safety. So Brandon Jones might be an intriguing young safety to take a chance on. Number 13, I know, an ex-Packer, Darnell Savage, 26 years old as well, number 145 on the PFF free agent list. So Savage was a first-round pick. He's a very, very good coverage safety. But when he has to make plays in the box, not quite as good. So his coverage grade is 66. His forced incompletion rate is quite good, 13%. Run defense grade is 66. We add the numbers up, and we have a total score of 145.0. So I do like Savage. Pretty good idea. But again, he's much more of a pass-focused safety than he is a run-focused safety. Okay, number 12, we're going to get a little bit older here, to Sean Gibson, and his age is my biggest concern. He's 33 years old, number 136 on the PFF list. So he was really the deep third free safety in San Francisco's defense the last few years. So he had to keep everything in front of him. And he was pretty good at making plays on the ball when he was targeted, which wasn't much. His run defense grade is absolutely the highlight here, 90.5. Coverage grade, pretty good, 63.8. Not too good, not too bad. Forced incompletion rate, also 7.0. So that's a 161.3 grade. All right, so that's definitely the highest ranking we've seen so far, but it's the age that worries me here. Number 11 is Julian Blackmon from the Indianapolis Colts. Only 25 years old. He is a better fit at the line of scrimmage because he doesn't have great recovery speed. Okay. GVH with a quick comment here. Does Deshaun have a solid link? Which Deshaun here? Which? Oh, you're talking about Deshaun Gibson? Oh, yeah. Gibson was in San Francisco at that time. Yeah. They've been together before, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. When you said Deshaun, I thought you meant Deshaun Watson. I'm like, what? All right. But Blackmon had 30 defensive stops in 2023, which was by far a career high. He missed only 7.4% of his tackle opportunities. That's a very good number. Now, his coverage grade, run defense grade are okay, but not very good playing the pass. His forced incompletion rate is only 2.7%. That is not good at all. 133 is the total score. Not that impressive. All right, then we're going to get into number 10. That's C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who is already a free agent, quite surprisingly. 26 years old, was with Detroit this year, number 101 on the PFF free agent list. Now, he missed nearly the entire season with a torn pec that he suffered in week 2, came back in week 18 for Detroit's playoff run. Plays fast, great leader, has been with New Orleans also, talks a whole lot of trash between snaps. Gardner-Johnson, he's very versatile as playing like a high-end nickel or as a safety. He'd be an intriguing target, I think, for just about anybody who wants to add talent to their secondary. So his 2023 grades are a little bit limited here, but a 71.2 coverage grade, 6.6 forced incompletion rate, 59 run defense grade, 136.8. It's about the same level as Julian Blackmon, actually. All right. Let's take another couple quick hellos. We got Ryan Jett. Hey, good to see you here. And we've also got Dane O. Man, Dane is like at every show. If there's a Jet show with a live chat going on, Dane is there most of the time. It is pretty much uncanny with him. Wow. Glad you're here, man. All right, number 9, going to surprise. Maybe this one might be a little bit surprising, but I wanted to throw this player in just for sort of reference to create sort of a bar here. And number 9 for me is actually re-signing Jordan Whitehead. Yep, 2023 grades. 69.4 coverage grade, 9.0 incompletion rate. That's one of the better ones we've seen so far. And the run defense grade of 64.3. So we know his real strength is as a box defender roaming near the line of scrimmage. The problem is he's prone to missing those one-on-one tackles, and that's why the Jets' tackling rate from safety, as we showed you earlier, is as low as it is. But he does get interceptions. He has a lot of defensive stops. You know, when he makes the play right, he does it well. When he fails, it hurts, and it hurts a lot. So there you go. So I'm putting Whitehead as my number 9 safety target here. If the Jets were to bring him back, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. 27 years old, number 86 on the PFF free agent list. We could do worse than Jordan Whitehead, but I think we could do better as well. Benefit of unemployment. I've been there. I know what it's like. I feel you. We've got the great Chris again. Good to see you. Are you still in Wisconsin? Yeah. Still up in the Kenosha area? NY Jets fan 4. I don't want to miss you either. What's up, my friend? I'm glad you're here. GBH with a great idea. Sign Jordan Whitehead for Bills games only. I like it. All right, Elon. All right, he's putting out his opinion here. If Geno Stone isn't top 3 next to Winfield and Curl, redo the list. By the way, Whitehead can't tackle for shit. Well, I did say that Whitehead does not have a very good tackling rate. I definitely did. I know I said that, but yeah, that is definitely the biggest issue. And you wonder if at 27 years old, it's going to get better. Elon, here's what I'm going to say. My list will make you happy in certain ways and it will aggravate you in other ways. How about that? Okay. It's just fun. Doesn't it make you feel good to say again? It really does. Dane, you can't find a whole. Here's the thing with these safeties. It's hard sometimes to find a really good center field safety. It's easier to find a box safety. But we're going to talk about some guys who can play coverage, especially when we get into the draft guys. When we get into those draft targets, we're really going to take a look at that and figure out who makes the most sense for us. All right, let's go on to number 8. I've got another Miami Dolphins safety, and it's Deshaun Elliott. God, I wish I could have Javon Holland on this list, but I can't do it just yet. But Elliott, 26 years old, number 135 on the PFF list. So he's going to give you some range as a free safety. He's reliable, sort of last line of defense. He's a good tackler in the run game. He's played some nickel, played some more box in the last couple of seasons. The thing with Elliott, he's sort of like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. All right, 66.3 coverage grade, 12.3 forcing completion rate. It's pretty good. Run defense grade, 78.3. Very high score here of 156. So far, the only safety with a higher grade than that total score is Tashawn Gibson. All right, so Elliott would be the next one. Okay, now we go to number 7, and it's Jordan Fuller from the L.A. Rams, formerly St. Louis, I know. So he is 25 years old. There's so many safeties hitting the market, coming off their first contracts here. You know, a lot of young guys here who could really contribute. So, you know, and we know Joe Douglas loves to target free agents coming off their first contract. That's why this makes sense. All right. And guys, reminder, if you're coming in, hey, Ryan, we talked about what the Jets already have under contract. It's really Adams, and that's it. Whitehead, Adams, and Davis. Whitehead, Adams, and I said that right. No, Whitehead, Davis, and Clark, excuse me. They are all hitting the market. They're all free agents. I would love Chuck Clark to be a starter as well. Or I'd like to at least see him have an opportunity to get a starting spot as well, because he's going to be more of the box safety, not the coverage safety. Okay, so if you have Clark, you know, Adams really needs to be that coverage safety. But unfortunately, no, he is not under contract at this point. All right, but Jordan Fuller was a player I didn't know very well. So he is number 79 on the PFF list for overall free agents, 25 years old. This is a ball-hawking free safety. All right, he spends most of his time patrolling the deep quarter. The Rams use the too-high safety look as much as any team in the NFL. He tracks the ball well. He times his jumps well. He can contest the catch point very well, but he doesn't take penalties. Very, very important with this defense. He's not going to miss many tackles. He's a sound tackler, so I like him quite a bit. Coverage grade 57.3, forced incompletion rate 14.9. The run defense grade quite good, 82.7. That gives us a total score of 154.9, just a little bit under Elliott. So Jordan Fuller, I feel like that's a free agent I haven't heard anybody talking about, but he might be a player to watch. Let's go to number 6. Elon, hold on. I went with Geno Stone at number 6. He is 24 years old, number 52 on PFF. I don't know if he's going to leave Baltimore. That's one of the reasons I lowered him a little bit. But he had and there's another reason why I'm not too thrilled with him, but he had an 84.9 coverage grade. That was 7th best in the entire NFL among safeties, had a position leading 7 interceptions. But here are the issues with him, okay? He hasn't been used in the box much, doesn't get used in the slot, and his run defense is not that good. He has missed 19% of his tackle opportunities this season. We thought Jordan Whitehead was bad. I'm sorry, Geno Stone was worse. Stone is a very good coverage safety, but he's great at some things, but he stinks at other things. Look, the run defense grade, 42.9, is not good. Incompletion rate sucks. Coverage grade, fantastic. So that's why he has a total score of 129.7. That's quite a bit less than Whitehead, but he does certain things very, very well. All right, so I can only have him at number 6. Hey, I'm just going with the numbers. You don't have, hey, so you can use whichever numbers you want, but I'm sorry. The tackling, when you miss 19% of your tackle opportunities, you become a liability. I'm sorry. Number 5, Alohi Gilman from the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, California. Why is he number 6? Chris wants to know why I had him at number 6. Because he gets interceptions. His coverage is great. Pass coverage is great. Run defense and tackling, bad. It's a very mixed bag with Geno Stone. That's how I would summarize him for you. But Alohi Gilman, so he is 26, only number 137 on PFF, but I like this guy. Had a very good first season as a full-time player, so he has only 1 season of starting experience, but he does a good job of forcing turnovers. He's the type who's going to go for the strip, punch out a fumble. Coverage grade, 85.8. That's actually even better than Geno Stone. But his incompletion rate that's forced, 14.8, and the run defense grade is excellent, 71.2. Total score of 171.8. That's the best total score we've seen so far. So Alohi Gilman, that's another safety to watch. Okay, then we go on to number 4, and it's Xavier McKinney from the New York Football Giants. Number 43 on PFF. Elon makes a good point. Stone is playing along 2 studs in Williams and Hamilton. I think not a lot of people know Geno Stone because of Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton. And yes, they're both absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, that's a good point. So that's a very, very good point you made. But Xavier McKinney, hey, fantastic safety for the Giants. Over the last 3 yards, he is allowing 7 yards per target. That ranks in the top 20 among safeties. And then he has 17 combined interceptions and forced incompletions. That also puts him in the top 20 among safeties. Oh, Tigo. Tigo, turn the mute off your computer. You can hear me, and then you'll know how wrong I always am, right? Good to see you, man. And by the way, I still like Roma Dunze. Okay, so the thing with Xavier McKinney, he's a very good open field tackler. He could make more plays at the line of scrimmage, okay? Now, he's missed only 7.8% of his tackle attempts. That's 11th best among the 89 safeties with 100 tackles or more over the last 4 years. What that means is he's a very good last line of defense. Now, here's the thing. He's expected to get maybe about $10 million a year on a 4 or 5 year contract. Now, the numbers are very nice, 83.8 coverage, 8.4 incompletion rate, pretty good. Run defense grade is fine, 70.5, total score of 162.7. So that's a little bit less than what we have with Gilman, okay? So I don't know. I think McKinney's going to command a lot of money. He's a very good player, but I think you might be able to get other players for maybe like a little bit better rates. But at least with McKinney, he's in New York, so maybe that has a little bit of appeal. Maybe it does. All right, number 3. And to be honest with you, I feel like 3, 4, and 5 are all very close together, but I'm going to go with Kyle Duggar in New England. 27 years old, number 20 on the PFF list. This is more of the safety linebacker hybrid, so maybe that's not quite what the Jets need as much. He fits in the run game as well as any defensive back in football, as you can see with that run defense grade. And he's not really a big liability in coverage, especially against bigger slot receivers and tight ends. It's not necessarily a strength, though. His incompletion rate is only 3.8. That's one of the lowest we've seen. Coverage grade is kind of average, 61.2. Total score of 147.3. But his teammates love him. He does bring good leadership. And, he may have been the best defensive player on the Patriots last year, especially with Matthew Judon out and, and all the injuries that they withstood. So I'm going to make Duggar 3, but, Duggar, McKinney, Gilman, you could toss them all up in whichever way you want to sort them. Fine with me. Number 2. Okay, now we get to the top 2 safety targets. And number 2 is Cameron Curl from the Washington Commandskins. 24 years old, number 21 on the PFF 150 free agents list. Now, he has been kind of branded, I think, due to Washington's secondary stinking as much as it does, but he's been graded very well in coverage, very reliable tackling. Here's a number I like. He's been called for 7 penalties in 4 years. Ton of versatility, plays in the box, could be a center fielder, could be a slot corner, and when he's in the box, he could generate pressure on the quarterback or on a running back. So he very, very versatile weapon. He can be used any way you want. And here's another thing that might get your attention. ESPN looked at what they considered the top 50 free agents this year, and they put all 50 free agents who their ideal fit was. The only free agent of any position linked to the New York Jets was Cameron Curl. The only one. So it's very, very interesting. So even ESPN, and that most of their writers hate the Jets, but they think Cameron Curl will be a perfect fit in that Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Saleh defense. So just something to keep in mind. And number 1 by a landslide is the one and the only Antoine Winfield. I don't think we need to spend much time on him, but 25 years old, was absolutely unbelievable for the Buccaneers down the stretch. Say a quick hello to Wild Wave. I'm glad you're here, man. Yeah, we're breaking down the safeties tonight. We're just finishing up the free agents. We're going to head over to the draft class in just a moment. I'm going to take this time. We got a nice little turnout in here right now. Want to let everybody know that next week is going to be the last show that we do before the start of free agency tampering. So I think because of that schedule, we're going to do offensive tackle next week. All right, we're going to talk free agents, but we're going to spend a lot of time on the draft because we know that tackle class isn't quite so impressive. I mean, how much time can I really spend on George Fant? Okay, but we will talk tackles, and we'll talk about a lot of them in next week's show. So that's just a little teaser for next week. I want to make sure to do the tackles before free agency starts in the middle of March. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. Hey, just remember, Coots. I believe in Kuntz. I'm not going to get off the Zach Kuntz bandwagon until he's gone. It's an ODU thing, okay? Being down here in the Norfolk, Virginia area. But yeah, Antoine Winfield, the run defense is off the chart, 93.4, 9.0 force to completion rate, 73.2 coverage grade. He can play single high, two high, whatever you would ever want him to do, he could do it. So that is it for the free agents. Maybe the Jets could get Cameron Curl. Maybe that would be a target for them. But I do think it would make sense to bring back, I would think Clark or Davis, one of the two. But at least Davis, you have a little more youth. You have a little more durability. You have the special teams factor, which helps a lot as well. But Davis did play better. I just don't know if you trust Davis starting. Because here's the thing with this defense. They play the safeties 100% of the time. There's no rotating with the safeties. Do you want Davis on the field every single down? If he's coming in as the third safety, I'm okay with that. I don't know if I trust him enough. It's kind of like Eric Smith, very good special teams player, good in moments. But then when he came in to, I think replace, I guess, I don't know if it was, I don't know, was Jim Leonard and Eric Smith playing together? I'm not sure exactly what the time was, but I know when Eric Smith started, it didn't work. It did not work at all. The great Nick Shine. He is here as well, which means that all hell is about to break loose in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. All right. Wow, wait, yes, Coots. I gotta say, I gotta give a little love to Long Beach Joe, who's been doing a jet show from California for a long time. He won't even say his name. He won't even pronounce it the weird way because he's so worried YouTube's gonna get mad. But I'm not afraid to say Coots. All right. Well, hey, if I give you, hey, you know what? If I said 15, wait a second here. Did I give you 15 here? Hey, you know what? I gave you an extra one. Who cares? Whatever. All right. Let's go on to the safeties to watch in the 2024 draft. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give you a couple of honorable mentions because I said 15 because it's just a nice even number a simple number to work with. It's not an even number, but 15 is easier than 16 or whatever. But I'm just going to mention very quickly two other safeties that I've been looking at who are not in my top 15, but I think could still get drafted later on. One is Tyke Smith from Georgia, 5'9", 206 pounds, 22 years old, went to the Senior Bowl. The thing with him, he's got good instincts, has good anticipation, reads and reacts with discipline, but he's a little bit hesitant and susceptible to double moves, and he can get a little bit handsy. I don't know if he recognizes routes very well yet. I think he's kind of raw, plus he's only 5'9". So that right there worries me a little bit with him. I think he could be a 7th-round draft pick, though. Also, the other one I'm going to mention is Malik Mustafa from Wake Forest, also 5'9", also went to the Senior Bowl. Team captain, fantastic athlete. He runs a 4.3340. That's in the 99th percentile of all safeties. And very athletic to play just about any type of coverage you would want, but he's at his best attacking downhill, shooting the gaps and run support, disrupting the backfield. That's where he's going to do his best work, but he's going to get beat over the top too often, and he can get a little bit handsy when he's running downfield. Also, his back pedal, a little bit sloppy. I didn't love the footwork, and if you don't have footwork, it doesn't matter what other physical traits you have. So to me, I think he's going to get drafted, but it's going to be in the 7th round. Okay, so those are just a couple of quick honorable mentions. Now, let's talk about 15 safeties to watch that will be available in the 2024 draft. Number 15, hopefully everybody can read it pretty well, is Trey Taylor from Air Force. All right, now Trey Taylor won the Jim Thorpe Award for being the best defensive back in college football this year. 6'0", 210 pounds, 2023, 40 solo tackles, 3 picks, 4 passes defense. He is super smart, which I would hope for. If he went to Air Force University, I sincerely hope he's smart, right? But he has he has a good ability to diagnose plays when dropping back into coverage. Very well put together. He's got a strong build, plays very fast, takes accurate angles to the football, very fluid mover in the beginning of the field. The hits he delivers are violent. He is a hard hitter. I really enjoy watching him, knock running backs and wide receivers in the next week. Tracks the football pretty well, but he can struggle a little bit when playing in zone. He's not very instinctive, and he can struggle reading downfield routes. Also, with his size, he struggles to shed blocks from offensive linemen, from tight ends, from wide receivers, and you do have to worry about the level of competition playing at Air Force as well. So I think you have a very good, smart player who can be a very good special teams weapon. I think you have something there with Trey Taylor. I don't know if he's ever going to become a starter for you, but I think this is a player we're taking. I've seen him not get drafted in some mocks. I've seen him go in the 5th round. But I'm going to put him in about the 7th round. But I think Trey Taylor is a very, very intriguing prospect to look at. All right. Yep, Papa Yeti. Yep, you said it. Yep. If you went to Air Force, you better have some intelligence, right? Number 14 is Josh Proctor. It would be a gamble to draft him. Procter and Gamble. See what I did there? Okay, very good. From Ohio State, 6'1", 198 pounds, 24 years old. 2023 had 47 solo tackles, 1 interception, which was a pick 6 off Little Tua against Maryland. 8 passes defense. Went to the Senior Bowl. He is a very good physical blitzing safety. He likes to come downhill as a tackler. He has the speed to track down running backs sideline to sideline. Great on route recognition. Very, very smart player. His tackling efficiency could be better. There's times he misses tackles. He really plays full speed. He wants to make the big hit, but that sometimes results in a compromise in his technique. Okay. So when he fails to sort of break down on the ball carrier, he'll overthrow a shoulder, he'll overrun the ball carrier, and that leads to a big play. So that's something that he has to learn. I think he could go in the 6th round, best case scenario, maybe the 6th, 7th round, somewhere in that area. Dano with a great idea. Super chats for airtime ain't a bad idea. Less super chats gets 5 minutes on the air. I got to figure. Well, we'll have to figure out a way to get. We can. I could always send the link out. Yeah, if that were to work out. Yes, that was quite the show with Nick the other night on Sunday. I actually streamed it to my channel as well. It's also a proud New York Jets fan. But wow, the super chat turnout, amazing, absolutely amazing. Dane, I absolutely think that is going to happen. We see that Joe Douglas likes to take a couple of things and move up. We're expected to have 3 7th-round draft picks. Why not move up into the 6th round? I could absolutely see something like that happening. It would make all the sense in the world. You know, if there's one player you really like, go get that player rather than take 3 players who you're like, with, who may not make the team anyway. All right, so Josh Proctor is number 14. Number 13 is going to be Damani Richardson from Texas A&M. Now, in 2023, 43 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 3 pass breakups, 6'0", 210 pounds. He is 23 years old. Very cerebral safety. He's got a good feel for how offenses are trying to attack him. He has very good football awareness. He will read and react quickly to just about any kind of play, and he stays balanced. Good footwork. Hustles a lot, puts himself into the action even when he's not involved, and he knows how to use his height. He's a very good jumper. He knows how to time those jumps to attack the football. So that's what I like about him. I don't know if he has the top end speed to remain engaged with the faster receivers going downfield. Okay, that I don't love too much. And his hip fluidity, it's a little bit stiff, so he's not going to change directions as easily as you'd like. But you've got something to work with there as well. I see a 6th round selection for Damani Richardson. Number 12, Jalen Simpson from Auburn. I've seen some spots where he would go in the 7th round. I've seen him go as high as the 4th round. This is a very intriguing prospect. 6'0", only 178 pounds. My God, I weigh more than him. 2023 had 28 tackles, 4 interceptions, 3 passes defense, went to the Senior Bowl. So he has legitimate free safety range to cover from sideline to sideline. He was originally a cornerback that converted to safety. He's got good range and coverage, good burst and acceleration to sort of drive downhill on those shallow routes, those underneath routes, snuff out a screen pass. All right. He has a good feel for what's happening around him with the route concepts, with the spacing. I'll tell you what I like with Simpson. He has a way of baiting quarterbacks into throwing passes that could become interceptions. He knows how to mess with a quarterback. Put it this way, Zach Wilson's worst nightmare. Maybe does that explain it for you? Now, with Simpson, he does have a slim frame. Again, 6'0", 178 pounds. That could create an issue with more physical receiving threats. He could be out-muscled out of position. So he has the range as a run defender, but he doesn't quite have the physicality as a tackler. He's focusing more on the strips. So if he could bulk up a little bit, if he could add like 10, 15 pounds of muscle, particularly in the upper body, he can become a much more dynamic, much more useful player. So I think Simpson would go 6th round, maybe early 6th round, but that's an intriguing piece. All right, Jalen Simpson's my number 12. Number 11, let's keep the ball rolling. Dadrion Taylor Demerson from Texas Tech. A lot of Texas schools in here, and a lot of the schools that wear red, orange, and yellow, you'll notice here. He is 5'11", 195 pounds, went to the Shrine Bowl where he did very, very well. In 2023, had 53 solo tackles, 1 sack, 4 interceptions, and 7 passes defended. Not too bad. Now, this is another free safety, but he's got the temperament and the physicality of a box defender. If you're looking for a ball hawk who plays like high zone, this is a good piece to get. He turns his head around very well. With his back to the line of scrimmage, he has the ability to cover underneath routes. Also very good in zone coverage. Shows a very good understanding of routes. He can close quickly, stays very patient in space. Now, he is willing to get physical to take on blocks, but he struggles to disengage with them, so he can get tied up. Also, he comes in a little bit too hot in the open field at times, so his tackling could use a little bit of shoring up. I see maybe a 5th or 6th round projection for DTD from TT. Yeah, I said it. All right. Nick has no affiliation with the Shrine Ball. Maybe I. Hey, Tico, I think you and I are destined to go to the Shrine Bowl one day. You, me, and Long Beach Joe. That'll be the Shrine Bowl crew. I guess you work your way up to the Senior Bowl. Oh, God. All right, let's go to the from the University of Utah. 6'0", 208 pounds, 23 years old. Now, in 2023, this is an interesting player. 2023, 48 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, went to the Senior Bowl. Now, he is a two-way player who is also a running back. All right, he doesn't have a lot of experience. He's only been playing defense for 3 years. Took 2 years off to do mission work. Great explosiveness. All right, so as a running back, you would expect that. But a very dangerous downhill defender, super violent hitter. I think this is the type of safety that you could, like Trey Taylor, you could see some special teams ability coming from this guy. Has quick feet, could change direction very well. He's much better right now as a run defender, as a blitzer, as a box safety. All right, but again, 1 season of starting experience as a safety. Also doesn't have great arm length, won't be great in man-to-man. And the biggest thing also with the tackling, that needs a little bit of help too. But you really have to wonder what he is in the NFL. Is he a running back? Is he a defensive back? Is he a special teams weapon? Kind of like Jabril Peppers a little bit. Jabril Peppers was a running back safety hybrid as well, and he eventually settled in at safety. But I think with his athletic ability and his violent tendencies on the field, I think somebody's going to take a chance on Sione Baki, and I think it's going to happen in the 5th round. Ryan, we mentioned JBC briefly. I think he's going to have an opportunity, but right now he's just a piece, and this is a year where I think he's going to have to show something, or he's going to fall by the wayside. Kind of like guys like Zaire Barnes, those types of guys. The Jets really drafted, I think, for the future in 2023 in the 2023 draft. A lot of these guys were for the future. McDonald, Kuntz, Bernard Converse. Barnes, a lot of these guys. It seems like Joe Tippmann, Izzy Abanaconda, they were for down the road. The problem with it was, though, you brought in Aaron Rodgers to play quarterback. So that was kind of the frustrating. It was like conflicting philosophies. I don't think that the players the Jets picked are necessarily bad players or incapable players. It's just that they needed a couple of guys who could come in immediately and contribute. Will McDonald did a little bit, but he was just part of the rotation, and we know how good Joe Tippmann is. All right, so hopefully 1 or 2 of those guys we mentioned will step up this year. If that happens, I'll be happy with the draft. All right, you're not going to have a draft class where everybody hits. So we will see. Jets, mess. Usually the first one to show up tonight. He may very well be the last one to show up. But I'm glad you're here. Hope work went well for you. Man, it's 11 o'clock. So, settle down, put your feet up, and enjoy my voice to hopefully help relax you a little bit. But we're talking safeties right now. We've already talked to free agents, and now we're getting into the draft class. So I gave you 2 honorable mentions. We've given 6 safeties so far in the top 15. Now we're going to take a step up. All right, because my top 9, the difference between 10 and 9 for me are a little bit pretty stark. Number 9 for me is Keaton Oladapo from Oregon State. I think I picked him because I really want to show that picture with the lei and the orange hair. I thought that was pretty freaking hysterical. But Oladapo is 6'1", 217 pounds, 23 years old. 2023, he had 44 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 8 passes defensed, and 2 forced fumbles. He went to the Senior Bowl. He is also a team captain, so he is a Beaver leader. He is a strong safety, plays very, very well in the box, good arm size. Elon, I'm going to quickly say this. I'm seeing DeJean profile more of a cornerback than I am as a safety. He's a little bit of a hybrid, but I would say if you want to put him in the safety class, he is either 1 or 1. He's in the top 3. But from what I'm seeing, Cooper is being seen more of as a cornerback. But let's see what winds up happening. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions, I knew somebody would jump on that. That's what she said. But yeah, if you have any thoughts or questions about any of the safeties that we're putting up here, yeah, definitely let me know. If you have any opinions on these guys, yeah, I definitely invite that. But Oladapo is going to give you a nice thick frame, good arm length, good size, but he's still going to have enough speed to track down ball carriers. His missed tackle rate, 11.8%. That's pretty darn good. Fluid mover. He could blitz effectively. He's a little bit stiff in the hips to play the slot. He's not as twitchy as what you would want from a safety. But you've got great leadership, you've got great physical tools, and you've got a good mindset. So I think Oladapo goes late in the third or in the fourth round, that late day 2, early day 3 pick. And I'm going to give you one or two more guys like that. Number 8, this may be the most intriguing prospect I'm going to give you tonight. It is James Williams from the University of Miami, Florida. 6'5", 215 pounds, 21 years old. He is a giant. 2023, he had 48 tackles, 1 pick, 5 passes defended, and 2 forced fumbles. He is a physical freak. He's got a blend of size and speed that nobody else can boast in the safety class. His wingspan is 79 and 5/8 inches. That is as good as it's going to get among any safety. Very physical tackler. He is a freight train rolling down the track. Put it this way, he comes to the NFL, he's going to need more than James Williams. He needs a nickname, whether it's Freight Train. I don't know what it's going to be, but this man needs a nickname the way he plays. So he will make impact plays behind the line of scrimmage and run support. He doesn't have the best foot speed at his size. He's not going to cover wideouts or the faster tight ends. And at 6'5", 215, you'd probably expect that. The other thing that I'm worried about is his missed tackle rate, 19.2%. That is a little bit scary. He has to learn to tackle better, and that's why he's a little bit lower on the list. And the big question is, where does he really fit? Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? Is he a hybrid? Is he that sort of Keanu Neal type of player? But I think some team is going to take a chance on his upside because it is there. And I think that's going to happen in the third round. Worst case, early in the fourth round, early day 3. Early day 3, he's going to be off the board. So James Williams, that to me is going to be the boomer bust pick of this draft. All right, let's go to number 7, and it is Jaden Hicks from Washington State. In 2023, 47 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 6'3", 212 pounds, 20 years old, went to the Senior Bowl. And I will say, I have seen 1 or 2 mock drafts where he was drafted, where he was projected to go to the Jets in round 4. So Jaden Hicks is a projected Jet by certain well-known websites, not named ESPN. But he is a very high IQ player, often in the right place, super quick, takes great angles to the football, is very good working downhill and sideline to sideline. That's where he's really at best, when he's got everything in front of him and can go straight to the ball carrier. He thrives on good hard contact. His tackling really stands out on video. He may be versatile enough to play slot, box, or center field, wherever you want him to play. Now, his hips are a little bit stiff. It's going to hurt him a little bit in man-to-man coverage, and he could miss tackles at times. He likes to wrap up more than, he needs to wrap up more than deliver the big hit. All right, so Hicks needs to work on that part of his game a little bit more, but I think you have a very smart all-around safety here in Jaden Hicks, and I think he's going to be gone in the third round, possibly early fourth, about the same level as James Williams. Now we go to number 6, and it's Cole Bishop from Utah, the second Ute. So we got 2 Utes. Yeah, the 2 Utes on this safety list here. All right, but Cole Bishop, I don't think he's from Brooklyn, but what I do know, he is 6'2", 207 pounds. I will not do that accent again unless I get a request to. 22 years old, 35 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 picks, 4 passes defended. Now, he did very well in the Senior Bowl. The reports that I got from guys like Dom, from Will Parkinson, from what I was reading, they didn't highlight a whole lot of safeties as standing out at the Senior Bowl. But the one I saw who did get attention was Cole Bishop. That was the one I saw get the most attention. So that's why I took a little bit of extra time to look at what he could do. He's really best playing cover 2 and cover 4. That's where he's going to thrive. In any other defense, you got to be careful with that. All right, he's got a very good frame, good for a safety. high energy, high motor, plays relentlessly. Very good instincts. He's always going to be around the football. He makes a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. He can blitz. He can pass rush. He's better playing the run than he is playing the pass, though. All right. He can still track the ball very well, but against big receivers and tight ends, he doesn't hold up quite as well. And again, this is the common fallback you're seeing with a lot of these safeties. Changing direction, quick twitch, quick movement. There aren't too many safeties who can do that, but are also physical. And Bishop definitely has the want to, but he's going to thrive in certain types of defenses. I think he goes probably third round. I put third round, early fourth. I really think Bishop will go in the third round at some point. I think he's gonna be pretty dang good. A very good. I can see that type of guy. That's more the Jim Leonard type guy. I can see a little bit of Jim Leonard in Cole Bishop. Number 5 is Bo Braid from the University of Maryland. 6'1", 210 pounds, 22 years old, had 48 tackles, 1 interception, 6 passes defended, and 1 forced fumble. Now, he also went to the Senior Bowl. Natural playmaker. That's how I'd sum him up. He has the straight line speed. He's going to take a pick to the house. He could do that at any moment's notice. He contests catches very well at the high point. He knows how to attack the ball very well when it's in the air. Very fluid mover. Very good upper body strength in the box. He will hit like a linebacker. He hits hard. Very hard hitting safety who still runs very, very well. He can overrun plays a little bit in coverage. He has to do better in zone defense. He gave up 3 touchdowns while in zone defense this year. The other thing I didn't like too much, he gets a little bit aggressive with his hands and with his helmet, so he could be a little bit penalty prone. So that's a concern I do have about Bo Braid. Dane's asking Quan Alexander part 2. That is not a bad comparison. That's not a bad comparison. I can see a little bit of that in him. I don't know if that's the body makeup. I don't know if Alexander is a little bit bigger, but I do see some similarities with Quan and Bo. So that's not a bad comparison there. All right, then we get to the top 4, and I think this is probably the consensus top 4 for most people. Number 4 for me is Javon Bullard from Georgia. I know Nick will like that. 5'11", 190 pounds, 21 years old. Now in 2023, had 39 tackles, 2 picks, 5 passes defended, and 1 forced fumble. Senior Bowl as well. A lot of these guys went to the Senior Bowl. Very few sat out. But this is a very, very smart defensive player. Maybe the most cerebral defensive player. I'll be fair. Second most cerebral defensive player on this list. My number 1 is going to be also number 1 on this list. More on him in a moment. But he can play pretty much anywhere in the secondary. Zone, man, slot corner, high safety, box safety. He could do whatever you need him to do. He's very physical in man-to-man. He hits hard, and he has these very long strides, which allows him to keep up with just about any receiver you would want him to. Now, he allowed this past year 14 receptions on 26 receptions, 119 yards, and no touchdowns. That's pretty dang good. All right. Now, he may be a little bit undersized at 5'11". Maybe he could stand to improve his strength in press coverage also. And he does take to 10 bad angles to ball carriers at times. So that's something he has to learn to do a little bit better. But I have sort of a late second, third round projection for Javon Bullard from Georgia. I think he's a very safe pick. I think you know what you're going to get with him, but I don't think he has the upside of the top 3. By the way, we're doing great with the likes. Wow, we're definitely going to be spinning the wheel a little bit later on tonight. I think what we're going to do – oh, Dane's got to say goodnight. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by tonight. I think what we'll do after this, we'll be doing the trivia, and then we'll do the mock draft. I think we'll do one mock draft the regular way, and then we'll do a mock draft with the wheel, which I will let you know. I did update the wheel a little bit. All right, so let's do one regular draft, then we'll do one crazy draft. I think that'll be a fun way to do it. And it's 11:15, so I'll try to go through it relatively quickly. We won't spend an hour and a half per draft, I promise. All right, number 3 on my list is Kalen Bullock from USC, 6'3", 190 pounds, 20 years old, very, very young. This past year, he had 42 tackles, 2 picks, 7 passes defended. Now, this is your pure center fielder. This is your Jim Edmonds, your Carlos Beltran, your I'll be I'll do this for Nick. Your Brett. This will be your Juan Soto this year. Aaron Judge. This will be your Aaron Judge, I guess. Is that going to be playing center field? Okay. This will be our Harrison Bader. But this is a pure ball hawk, all right? And it makes sense because he was a receiver in high school. Am I going till 3 a.m.? I don't know because I got to be up at 6 on Thursday mornings to run and donate blood before I go to work. So we'll see. Maybe we will definitely pass midnight for sure. We're gonna hit. I think we're gonna hit midnight. I'm very confident with that. All right. Maybe later we'll just kind of see how the show goes. And as I say that, two people. Ah, ouch. Okay. But anyway, Kalen Bullock, very, very impressive footwork with these super long strides. His speed is incredible. Very fast, twitchy feet, but he accelerates super, super fast. Also, very great leaping ability, great arm leg too. So he can definitely pick the ball off. He can break up passes very, very well. Now, he's a little bit raw. As I mentioned, he's only 20 years old. He's going to have to learn to diagnose plays a little bit faster. Okay. And he also has to shore up his run defense with his anticipation of run plays. Maybe adding a little bit of size would help him as well. But this is a player who could be a slot corner, center fielder. He could really do that well. I think he's going to go probably early third round. And again, keep in mind, your best safety is not going to go until late in the first round anyway. So for a safety to go in the third round, that actually does say something. That's number 3. Number 2, we've got a second hurricane coming through. It is Cameron Kitchens, KK from Miami, Florida. He is 5'11", 202 pounds, but you wouldn't know that watching him because he plays bigger than that. 20 years old. 40 tackles this year, 1 sack, 5 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups. This guy has 11 interceptions in just 2 seasons. Went to the Senior Bowl his last 2 seasons. Legitimate playmaker, just a pure athlete. And when I say a playmaker, yes, he's a ball hawk, but he could do anything that you would want a safety to do. He recognizes plays well. He watches the quarterback's eyes like a hawk. He is a super fluid runner, great speed. All right. He's got that smooth back pedal who could turn upfield very quickly. So he could play center field for you. He can cover a tight end if you need him to. But he's shifty enough still to be good in run defense. Now, if I had to look for a knock on him, he does look for the big hit a little bit too often, so he has to know when to do that. That will come with time. Again, 20 years old as well. He's that young stallion who sometimes needs to be restrained a little bit. And he could take better angles and run support too. His missed tackle rate is around 13%, which is not bad. It's okay, but it could stand to be better. And that's the reason why I have him at number 2 instead of number 1. I think he's going to go, if not late first round, that's probably the ceiling for him. I could see him being one of the last 3 or 4 picks in the first round. I would say most likely, though, he goes in the first half of round 2. That's my projection for Cameron Kitchens. So that is my number 2. We've been through a lot of safeties tonight, but this to me is going to be the gem of the class, and it is Tyler Nubin from the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I'll tell you one thing I like about Nubin. He played high school in St. Charles, Illinois, in the west suburbs, which is the town I lived in for 14 years, and he played at high school 5 minutes away from my old house. All right, what can I say? All right, he's a local for me. I'm rooting for him. All right, he played quarterback and wide receiver for the North Stars, as well as defensive back. 6'2", 209 pounds, 22 years old. In 2023, had 34 solo tackles, 1 sack, 5 picks, 4 passes defended, and a forced fumble. Tyler Nubin has 13 interceptions in 4 years. He has set the Minnesota all-time interception record for a career. He plays with swagger and just amazing, amazing instincts. Remarkably rangy. He has long arms. He knows how to be in the right place at the right time. He knows how to read a quarterback. His completion rate allowed for a safety is 34.5, which is fantastic. Fantastic. The quarterback rating when targeted is just 17.5. I'll say that again. A quarterback rating when they target Tyler Nubin is only 17.5. That is like on the level of Tim Boyle. It's pretty much where that is. So if you want somebody to cover a tight end, a wide receiver, a running back, Nubin can do it. He takes excellent angles to the football. He's an elite tackler in run support. His missed tackle rate is about 9%, which is really, really good. Can stop the run, can stop the pass, can be a fantastic weapon on special teams for you too. Now, on the other side, if I had to find a couple of things to knock, he may be a little bit excessively physical in man coverage, so sometimes he could grab or tug at a receiver to maintain leverage. That could lead to penalties. That's about as much as I could find. Mo Dean steps in. Mo Dean always manages to be the counter man. He manages to be the contrarian. Who is his competition? No one. When Minnesota did play someone, they lost 52-10. We're not talking about the whole team here. We're just talking about one player, and Tyler Nubin is the concern. I will tell you this. I have not broken down one other Minnesota prospect in any other position. So, yeah, but I like Tyler Nubin a lot. I think he's going to be really, really good. I don't think the Jets are going to have any chance in hell to draft him. He's going to be a luxury pick because if you're going to draft a safety in the first round, you better have the rest of your crap pretty much together. So I expect him to go to who knows what the team's going to be, but I could see him going to maybe say a Philadelphia, that type of a team, or maybe even a Detroit. They could use a player like him. It would make a lot of sense. All right, guys. So those are my safeties for the night. Wow. I'll tell you what, I feel a lot smarter than I did a week ago about safety, and I hope you all do too. All right, so next week we're going to talk offensive tackle, and we're not going to really spend a lot of time, as I said, on the free agents because I don't think any of us are too impressed with what's going to be available at tackle. So we're really going to go in depth with the draft prospects on this one as OneDrive wants to shut down on me, but that's okay. OneDrive's having a little bit of a brain fart right now, but that's okay. Thankfully, I've always got my cell phone, so I can always counter real quick if I need to. All right, we're going to go ahead and do, let's see, it's 11:21. All right, so this is the time every week where all my research has paid off, where I head into the WA2K99 lab, and I go deep into Jets history. And I find a tough question, but fair, a very fair question. I try to ask you guys, the devoted, diehard Jets fans. You guys are the ones who know more about the Jets than just about anybody else. So we try to give you a good question, and at this time of the year, the question is going to be about the NFL draft and the Jets draft history. So let's together enter the trivia room. All right, now we all know how this works. So yeah, we will have the background music tonight. I'll have to be sure to put up my the copyright. I know I already put it in there, but somehow I still managed to piss off the content providers, even though I've legally downloaded the music. All right, so let's. Where is it? Here, there it is. Okay, here we go. Got the trivia. Oh, let's see. We got to pull it back in. No problem. Wow, got to allow all these permissions. Yep, that's what you have to do. All right, we're selecting it. Let's make sure we got the right one. Okay, here we go. Here comes the question, guys. Since 1975, who is the only player the Jets have drafted that went to school at Arkansas State University? Turn the volume down just a little bit. All right, I'm going to watch the chat here. So I'm only asking for one name tonight. Oh, thanks, Mo. I'm glad you like the music. Awesome. It is fun. I don't have any copyright strikes. It just says that the video can't be monetized when I have that issue. But I made sure to put it in the description. But I'll double check right after we end the show tonight. In a couple of hours. Nick already knows. Nick already knows the answer. Oh my God. NY Jets fan 4 says it's the Mario Davis. Is it the Mario Davis? It sure is. It is the Mario Davis. Well done, everybody. Yep, that may be the fastest y'all got the question. Yep, it was Demario Davis in 2012, drafted from Arkansas State University, and that's right. If you all know me, I'm using the state of Arkansas for a reason. Special shout out to our fan in Arkansas who hopefully is here tonight. All right. So yeah, great job, guys. Okay, so here I gotta say, you guys went above and beyond tonight. You guys did a hell of a job. As I'm going back into the chat, we've got how many likes we got? Yeah, we had almost 20 likes tonight. Wow. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a mock draft, and we're gonna do two, as I mentioned. So we're going to first. I got to get the template up. So yeah, we'll do this week. We'll do the PFN. I'm gonna have to go back and forth, so I'm gonna have to remember to share my screen and switch it over. So hopefully we can make this work. All right, so I'm gonna go and share my screen. There you go. Less than a minute, and you guys were finished. Oh my God, that's why you're all here late tonight. Okay, all right, so let's share the screen. And also, in all fairness, all right, there we go. All right, now I'm gonna go over to the Jets the draft, and let's pick the Jets. So we're doing the PFN. I'm gonna see if I can. Hopefully, we can. All right, so let's see. So the draft is already. Actually, I'm gonna pause it real quick. Okay, so we're just gonna do this regular way to start off. And so we'll see what's going on. We'll look at different options, and I guess we'll start looking. We'll look at the positions. We'll see what's available. I think for the first pick, we'll probably just look at the best player who we want to take, and as we keep going, we'll just see what's out there. We'll go with positions, then we'll go to players. That seems to be what works best. I don't know. The one issue is I don't know if I have the access to create a poll. That's like the one thing that I want to do. I would like to do, so I'm just gonna have to track things the best that I can. All right. So okay. So let's go over to the. Yeah, I've got one in Firefox and one in Microsoft Edge. Okay. So let's resume the draft. So Alt and Fashanu have went. Okay. So much to Nick's delight, Brock Bowers is available. And yeah, Latham is available. Wait a second. Did Fuaga? Wait, is Fuaga 15 here? Fuaga didn't go, did he? Let's see. All right, Fuaga's 15. All right. Well, let's see what we have on the trade market here. All right, we have one trade offer, and it's coming from Washington. Now they want to trade us. This is interesting. They want to trade us 36 picks, 36, pick 40, and pick 67. So they want us to move down 26 spots, but we would have picks 36 and 40. So we would have two early second round picks plus another pick early in the third round. So here's the thing. If you believe that much in Brock Bowers or Talise Fuaga or J.C. Latham or even J.J. McCarthy, then I guess we would stay at 10. But otherwise, I got to be honest with you, I don't hate this trade. I really don't. I like the idea of getting two. You may not have a first round pick, but you'd have two early second round picks, and then you'd have two third round picks and two fourth round picks. I gotta say, I kind of like this trade. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna ask you guys. Let's put in the chat. Do we want to go trade or no trade? It's gonna be a little hard for me to highlight this, but I'm gonna click. Yeah, let's see if we can highlight that. I pay for Bowers. Yeah, well, that'd be a rookie contract if you get drafted in the 7th round. Shoot. Thank you very much for the super chat. Okay. as my computer's acting a little bit weird, but there we go. I gotta remember what to click on here. All right. Okay, so Nick, we all know wants Brock Bowers. He does not want to go anywhere. NY Jets fan 4 wants JPJ. He wants Jackson Powers Johnson early on. Why can't I get rid of? Let's try this again. Okay, that's better. All right, so where is JPJ? He's number 20. So if we take the trade, yeah, we're not going to be able to get JPJ. All right, Wild Wave wants to go with Bowers. Okay. Ryan Jett wants, for the sake of the mock, he wants the trade. Okay. So right now it seems like we're leaning. It definitely seems like we're not going with Fuaga. So it's like Bowers, Fuaga, or trade. And right now we are leaning towards. And David D wants to trade. Ooh, this one's pretty close, guys. This one's pretty close. All right, so it's either going to be Bowers or it's going to be a trade. I'm just going to try to go with the majority as best I can. All right. So trade Bowers. Yeah, but NY Jets fan 4, yeah, we might be able to get Christian Jones later, but JPJ is not going to be an option unless we take him now. And it's kind of hard for me to justify an interior offensive lineman at 10, as good as he is. But you could get him a little bit later. Yeah, NY Jets fan 4 is a big Christian Jones fan. Well, I'll be doing a lot of research on Christian Jones this week, and I'll let you know what I think. I will say this. Early looks, I do have some interest in Jordan Morgan. Very, very, very athletic. Now, he would probably go late first, early second. So if we were to trade down, maybe we would have a shot at Jordan Morgan. Yeah, Morgan is at 37. Kingsley's at 36. Fatanu's more of a guard. Tyler Guyton's at 29. He's probably not going to fall. And Patrick Paul's a ways down. So we could take, maybe if not Guyton, we could take Morgan if we chose to trade down. Wild Wave says JD has never traded down in round 1, must continue the tradition. They haven't really been in a spot to do it before, but this time it could happen. I don't know. All right, guys, I think this is very, very, very close. So if anybody hasn't voted yet, tell me either Bowers or trade, because I think right now we pretty much got a tie right now. So I'll give it 1 minute. I don't think I need the tablet anymore. Close that out for the night. Modine wants to trade with the Raiders and pick up a number 2 from them. Well, let's at least take a look at that. For Modine, I'll take a look. So 13 to pick up a 2, 10 and 13 for 44. I would propose this. We can get it, but I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, that's not going to fly. I didn't think it would. A 3rd round pick, yes. Hank G wants Bowers. All right, I think we're going to go with Brock Bowers. Okay, we're going to draft Brock Bowers with the number 10 overall pick. Yeah, Super Chats cast the deciding vote. That is true. All right. So here comes Brock Bowers, and let's all pray to the Lord above that Nathaniel Hackett knows what to do with him. Oh, I think I hit the normal speed, so this is going to take a little while. All right, no problem. So now we got to wait 50 picks to get all the way down there. All right, NY Jets. Let's take a look at what y'all are saying in the chat. NY Jets fan 4 says Xavier Leggett and Jones are my 2 favorite guys in this draft. I'm with you on Xavier Leggett. Now he is dropping in the rankings a little bit, but I am definitely a fan of his. I don't know if the Jets are going to be in a position to draft him, but if he were to fall far enough, yes, I think that would be a very, very intriguing target. Oh, here comes Cooper Beebe. I don't think he's gonna make it. Yep, he's gone. Got 10 picks left to go. There goes the Yak God, and there goes Xavier. 2 very good wide receivers. Cole Bishop, yep. Oh, Tez Walker. Wow, I've seen Tez Walker. I know Connor Hughes really likes that idea of Tez Walker to the Jets. I think he was the one who said that. But I think there's 1 or 2 people who like the idea of Tez going there. All right, I'm not taking this trade. We're not moving 15 picks back with Dallas, plus giving up a pick to get a pick next year. So I think we can reject that. We are definitely going to draft here. All right, now we've got a tight end, so we definitely need to go with an offensive lineman, possibly a wide receiver. But let's take a look first at the offensive line. All right, so we have a couple of players. We got let's see, Blake Fisher, Delmar Glaze, Roger Rosengarten, who I think was also the name of the pitcher and rookie of the movie Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. I got to tell you, I don't love what I'm seeing at tackle at first glance, but let's look at guard. Hey, if that means you move AVT to right tackle, you do it. All right, now you got some pieces here. Dominique Pooney rising up the boards very quickly. We've talked about him. Can play a lot of different positions. I like Brandon Coleman at guard. Christian Mahogany is fierce. Layden Robinson's pretty good as well. So you have some guards here that you can look at. At center, is Van Prant still there? Nah, not very exciting. Yep, Tanner Bortolini, available in your local grocery aisle. Bortolini pastas, Bortolini marinara, whatever you want. I like the arrabbiata flavor myself, the spicy one. But anyway, Bortolini sauce. I don't know. All right. I think the strength of what we have here left to work with is at guard. So we got 71, 72, and now we know we're not picking again for 50 picks. All right. Let's take a look at defensive tackle. Chris Jenkins, here's the thing with Chris Jenkins. It says defensive tackle. He is more of a 5 technique. He's going to play edge a little bit better. I think he's going to play defensive tackle. Now, if we go, let's highlight defensive tackle. Dwayne Carter is somebody I'm very high on. I like Braden Fisk as well. McKinley Jackson would not be bad either. Tyler Davis would be a very good run stopper. So would Keith Randolph much later on. I think we can wait a little bit to get a defensive tackle, in my opinion. Nick's got to go. All right. Good to see you, man. All right. We will see you later. Yep, he'll be on tomorrow at 10 p.m. Mo, I didn't take the tight end. The majority of the chat wanted him. All right. So sorry to tell you that. This is what they want. I'm not going to take all the feedback in from the chat and then say, screw them. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I'm not going to go that way. I might lean them a certain direction. All right. Let's take a look at the best offensive players. Roman Wilson. Want to get some help at wide receiver? You could do that. Very, very good running backs, but after taking a tight end, I think we need to wait a little bit on running back as well. But yeah, Irving, Allen, Estime, very, very good as well. I think we need to upgrade the offensive line right now. For me, I think Pooney would be a good pick. Coleman, Mahogany, any one of those guards I would like. Now, I will say this. I'm going to ask, is there anybody in particular who likes any one of these tackles that are left? If so, let me know. I'll take it under consideration. But otherwise, yeah, I think we're gonna go with a guard here because I just think that's the strength of this draft. All right. So with Pooney, we don't know anything about him. I did the slides on him earlier. I did create a slide on him. Yeah, Brandon Coleman, 6'4", 320, projects to be a guard. A little bit of stiffness in the lower body, so he's going to be one of those tackles moving inside. And Mahogany, they have not. He is 6'3", 332, but they haven't come up with the with anything there. Is Christian Jones still available? Christian Jones is ranked 182 on this list, so we can wait a while for Christian Jones. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take Dominique Pooney. I think with this particular pick, I like Mahogany. He just has a little bit of an injury history, and we need some reliability. So I'm gonna take Pooney here. A little bit of a different idea, but again, a very versatile piece who is scouts have gotten very high on as of late. All right, let's get off guard and go to the big board. Can you imagine the Texans getting Roman Wilson? I mean, how many more wide receivers do they really need, right? Wild Wave says maybe we should have taken the trade. Maybe, but this is what we're doing. It would have been very interesting to do that trade, have like 2 early second-round picks. Okay, we're almost there, about 4 more picks. 3, 2, 1, and Malik Washington and Michael Pratt go right before we're scheduled to pick. All right, now Cleveland is offering us a trade. Now remember, we have pick 114. So regardless, if we trade this pick away, we'd only have to wait 2 picks, and then we can go. All right, so we would trade down 23 spots, and we would have 135, 155, and 205. Plus, we're trading away Mr. Irrelevant. Okay, so we go down. So if we did this, we'd have. I'm going to click off for a moment. 135, 155, 205. So 114, 135, 155, 187, 205. All right, so this, I don't know if that's a terrible trade, but let's see what's out there on the big board. See if there's somebody we want. NY Jets fan 4 wants me to take the trade. Okay, Papa Yeti likes it too. Just take a quick look, see what's there. Dwayne Carter is there at defensive tackle. Marshawn Lloyd at running back. Tanner Bordolini, Amani Bailey at running back. Dwayne Carter is about the only player I see here who I really like, but I still think we could get some other players. And again, we're only trading back 2 spots. I think this is a trade that would be worth it. All right. Let's see if we can counter it though. Let's see if Cleveland has anything else. Now they're giving us their 3 best picks that are left. So yeah, sometimes I'll look for a move up, like throwing in their 208 for our 253, but that's probably asking a little bit too much. So you know what? I'm going to accept this trade from Cleveland. Let's see who they take. Jonah Ellis and Mekhi Wingo. Okay, so I dig that. I dig that. All right, so far, just to recap, we have taken only 2 players, a tight end and an offensive guard. So at this point, there's a lot of places we could go. Wide receiver, defensive tackle, I think are the 2 positions. Let's take a quick look at wide receiver and see what's there. Brendan Rice is still available, and we'll have another pick in 21 spots. Luke McCaffrey. Jacob Cowing is a pretty good slot receiver, but at this point with Bowers, I'm really looking at an outside receiver more so. Yeah, those are the main guys I'm looking at. Jermaine Burton, I don't know him as well. Javon Baker, and apparently this freaking website doesn't either. All right, so the chat is leaning towards Dwayne Carter, but would you like me to consider Brendan Rice or Luke McCaffrey? Anybody else? Yeah, we could wait a little bit at running back. There's still some good running backs that are going to be available. Yeah, there's some guys on this running back list I like a lot. And let's take a look at the safeties since we went through safeties tonight. Oladapo is there. I was not a Thomas Harper fan when I looked at him. Mustafa's there. Tyke Smith is there. Richardson, Proctor, Trey Taylor, Sione Baki. There are definitely some safeties worth looking at. And as you can see, I do not copy the rankings exactly from these websites. All right. All right. Well, the chat is leaning heavily towards Dwayne Carter, defensive captain at Duke. So we are going to shore up our defensive line and add Dwayne Carter to the New York Jets. And there goes Brendan Rice quite quickly. Pittsburgh with back-to-back picks. There goes McCaffrey. All right. Almost there. Got concave. All right. And we are up on the clock. Trade up for Baker. I have to look at that. All right, we have one trade offer again. Man, we're not getting multiple offers. It's with Miami. They want us to move down 22 spots. At this, I'm tempted to say absolutely not, but let's at least look at what's out there. Ooh, Tyler Davis was there. That would not have been a bad pickup either, but he's still available. Okay, guys. Any position that you want me to look at in particular? Look for Javon Baker. Ooh, did Baker already go? Let's see. Let's scroll up here a little bit. Javon Baker? Oh, wait. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong position. I'm sorry. All right, let's just see some of the top players. Marshawn Lloyd, pretty good running back. I do like him. All right, we've got Dylan Lobby at running back. Nice little weapon from New Hampshire. We've talked about him. Oladapo, told you I like him quite a bit. Oh, there's Javon Baker from Central Florida. Okay. Again, absolutely no information on him whatsoever. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a quick scouting report because I got to admit I didn't see Baker when I was doing my research on wide receivers. Didn't come across him. All right, so let's see what we could find. I'm just pulling this up on my cell phone, so this isn't going to be on screen. 6'1", 201 pounds, owns the second highest yards per reception in the country, 21.9 yards per reception. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, strengths. Nuanced route runner, contested catches, catch radius, tracking the deep ball, concerns vertical speed and beating press coverage. So the summary statement of Javon Baker is this. His high-level route running, ability to make difficult catches, and natural instincts for the position make him an early contributor for any NFL team. That sounds pretty dang good to me. Now, we have 135 and we have 155. Are we willing to run the risk that he would fall to 155? I'm looking at these other players. Let's see. And I don't know if there's anybody that I'm like, yeah, there's still a lot of players here who haven't gone. I mean, there is a chance he could last 20 picks, but yeah, I got to tell you, I kind of like the idea of I like this Javon Baker idea. NY Jets fan 4 is making his voice heard. Hey, if you all have any thoughts here, any player you're looking at or a position you want me to look at, make your voice heard. It's okay. I won't judge you too hard unless you go with the long snapper. NY Jets fan 4, I'll give you one player here. I don't know if I'm giving you both. All right. I think Baker is probably – Zach Zinter's there at guard too. Can't forget him. All right. So if we were to take Baker, I think my hope would be we'd get – I think after this we'd probably take maybe a running back or a safety. Let's see what we have left. 135, 155, 187, 205, 253, and 254. We have 6 picks left. All right. We still have a lot to work with here. So I still think we can get a running back and a safety later. I think we better address wide receiver pretty quickly. If we're going to address tackle or wide receiver, we better do it quickly. So, yeah. Yeah. Also, Garrett Greenfield. That would be very intriguing as well. All right. I think we're going to go with Javon Baker on this one. Let's see if Zinter drops. Let's take Javon Baker. That is a chance to add a very good piece across from Garrett. And then you combine that with Brock Bowers, you've got a receiving core here that could really do something. Now all we need is Corey Davis to come back. There goes Zach Zinter. Close, but not quite. And there goes Jordan Jefferson. All right, so now we're on pick 155. We pick again at 187. No more draft picks. No more trades. Okay, so we've got Jared Wiley, the tight end. We have Tyler Davis. We already took a defensive tackle. Dylan Lobby would be an interesting piece to get it running back. I'm not looking at another defensive tackle right now. Scroll down a little more. Any positions that you all want me to take with a defensive tackle taken? Yes, we took Dwayne Carter. Yep, with 114, we took Carter. So we have not taken anybody in the secondary. We have not taken a running back. We have not taken we could get an edge player at the end. We could do that. We have not taken a quarterback. If you want to get a developmental quarterback, you could do that. I'm just curious what quarterbacks are left. I'm gonna guess Travis Milton and Hartman are all there. Hartman and Milton are there. Travis is apparently gone. All right, and yeah, there's still some good quarterbacks to get later. All right, Ryan Jett's looking at safety or tackle. I'm gonna look at running back just because I think there's some good ones here. I love Jawar Jordan. I'll tell you what. I would hope Jawar Jordan drops to 187 and we draft him. I love his explosiveness and his long speed. I'm not saying we need to get a running back now, but I would hope that we could get Jawar Jordan. And if not him, maybe a Cody Schrader. I'm definitely a fan of his. Rashid Ali is good, but he's hurt. And Carson Steele's not bad from UCLA. Not bad. All right, but I'm willing to wait on running back. I'm willing to. Harlan wants me to take Dylan Love. Okay, well, we'll think about it. Tackle, you know what? You could still get Jones or Greenfield later on. I need to do a little work on Javon Foster and Ladarius Henderson, but I definitely have them on my list of players to research. I still think there's some good tackles we could get. Let's look at safety. Carlisle's Logan, Damani Richardson's there. We talked about him. Trey Taylor's there. Josh Proctor, Sione Vaki. Um, yeah, Harlan, I agree. I like Schrader a lot, but Schrader's going to drop. There's a number of players we could go, a number of directions we could go, but there's nobody. I think we're going to go either running back, defensive tackle, or safety. No, not defensive tackle. Running back, safety, or wide receiver. Can I say wide receiver? No, we took wide receiver. Yeah, running back, safety, or offensive. Yeah, it was an offensive tackle. One of those three. Okay. Want me to check cornerback? Yeah, okay, no problem. Cornerback. Yeah, this is one of those positions I have to look at a little more. Elijah Jones? Shouldn't they have their reports up by now? They really should. Harlan, Vaki and Proctor can be taken later. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's some good safeties here, but nobody I feel like we need to take right now. All right, we got to make a decision here. I think it's got to be a tackle or a running back. I'm going to go with Lobby, I think. I love Jordan, but, oh, God, I got to be honest. I want to take Jordan, but I think y'all are leaning towards Lobby. So I'm going to go there. We're going to take Dylan Lobby. Very good return ability, amazing speed. Let's take him. All right, there we go. Now let's see who goes. Henderson went quickly. Yeah, Tyler Davis went too. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging with me so far. This has been fun. We got a good turnout tonight. This is fun. There goes Christian Jones. All right. Sorry about that. But there's still some good ones to take. There goes Damani Richardson. Got about 9 picks. Evan Williams is the liquor creator. Trey Taylor going to Washington. Well, that makes sense. That the Air Force player went to the Commanders. All right. Well, we took a running back. Now let's see who some of the best players are. Christian Boyd, good run stopper. Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker. We could have had Jawar Jordan. I'm gonna stay on him. We could go with Proctor. All right, we could do that. We could go with the quarterback. Now, at offensive tackle, Garrett Greenfield is still there, and we pick again at 105 at 205. I am leaning either Greenfield or I'm leaning Proctor. I think those are the ones I would lead, or I could be open to Eichenberg. Let me guess, no scouting report. Oh my God, they have one for him. 6'2", 235 pounds. Erupts through gaps, closes ground easily in pursuit, plays with a red hot motor from snap to whistle. You never know when CJ Mosley's time is going to come. A linebacker may not be the worst thing, and if so, Eichenberg might be a good choice. All right, so I'm going to go. It'll be Eichenberg, Proctor, or Greenfield if you want to get an offensive tackle. All right, so chat, how are you feeling? Greenfield, Eichenberg, or Proctor? So that's the left tackle, the safety, or the linebacker. So where would you like me to go? And we still have what, 4 picks left? I believe 4 picks, including this one. So still many chances to get some players. And then after this, we'll do a wheel mock draft as well. So, all right, we got a vote for Greenfield. Okay, right now Greenfield seems to be in the lead. All right. Anybody else have a preference one way or another? I think we should probably, Ryan Jett wants to go tackle as well. Okay, yeah, we should probably shore tackle. The fact of the matter is we've drafted one offensive lineman and not one that we kind of an unknown. So, all right, let's take Greenfield, who's really rising. Greenfield and Pooney may be the 2 fastest rising offensive linemen right now. So, all right, let's give it a chance. Boyd, Brownlee, Kamara, Willie Drew. There goes Ike. All right. Jordan Whittington, Mark Perry, Kane Wallace. Here we go. All right, we're up. All right, so now my preference would probably be Josh Proctor. We still could have had Jawar Jordan. All right, so at this point, I'm looking at the big board. If there's any position you'd like me to look at, I will. Just let me know. And then after this, we don't pick till 253, and we have 2 picks over there. So I think at that point, maybe we can get a quarterback if we want to do that. What positions would you like me to look at? Yep, GVH. Yep, we went tackle. So did you want to go look at tackle again? Are you saying? Yeah, I don't know these guys. I know Dom does not like Julian Pearl, as best I remember. So yeah, these guys I don't. I'm not as familiar with at this point. Is there another offensive lineman? Dylan McMahon's not bad, but needs some development. But we can use some youth on the interior O line. Kingsley Aguakon is an interesting piece. I actually do like him a little bit more than PFN does. He's a pretty nasty player. He's just pretty raw. But Iguacon, that might be somebody. He's probably not going to draft last till the end of the draft. Harlan wants me to get the safety now. Okay, this might be a player, Kingsley Iguacon, to look at the very end of the draft if he drops. All right, safety. I think Proctor is absolutely the way to go. I think the majority of people are cool with it. So let's bring in some speed, some downfield aggression. Josh Proctor is a New York Jet. And that leaves us with 2 picks left to go. If Boygby goes, wow, San Francisco with back-to-back, and then the Rams with back-to-back with Green Bay in the middle. All right. All right, we got about 25 or so picks to go. Oh, Gabe Hall's there. He's going to get snatched up pretty fast. All right, guys, give me an idea where I should look for these last 2 picks. Because at this point, we're not necessarily looking at a position. We're really looking at upside, best player. You know, you're not necessarily drafting for a position at the very end of the draft. Juwan Briggs, people seem to like him. There goes Hergel. There goes Jackson Mitchell. Okay, Carter Bradley is the highest remaining ranked player on the board at quarterback. Iguacan is still there. Luke Reimer's an interesting pick at linebacker. That would not be bad. All right, and these picks are back to back, so we can really go just about anywhere we want with those. Let's go further down. Marcus Harris at defensive tackle. Or do you want to get maybe an edge? We could do that as well. Harlan Abraham asked, do we got a quarterback and linebacker? We did not. Nope, we have not addressed those 2 positions. All right, I'll pull those up. At linebacker, yeah, I know Luke Grimer. I've heard some good things about from Nebraska. I think I've heard about Nathaniel Watson. Yep, Carter Bradley. I like him at quarterback. Cornerback, I like Rashad Williams from Texas Tech. He is one of my favorites. And Jaden Davis would be a very good pickup too. Ryan Jett, quarterback, linebacker, maybe another receiver. Well, we got some ideas here. All right, I think we'll take a linebacker. Let's build up some depth there. Zaire Barnes, I know, was drafted, but let's see. Wide receiver, I like Ryan Flournoy. Cornelius Johnson be a good pickup too. These other guys, I'm not quite as. I've seen Marcus Rosemy-Jackson mentioned a few times on previous shows. All right. Yeah, so it's about getting some depth and building up the pipeline. So, all right, I think we should get a linebacker, and I think Luke Reimer is where I'm going to go. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Now we need one more pick tonight. Nick is sending me a message that the Jets are fixed. I'm guessing he just did a mock. I'm going to look here real quick. Oh, I'll give you. You know what? I'll give you Nick's draft after we're done. This is quite interesting, but I'll give you this draft after we're done. Okay. Wild Wave wants to know how many tackles we drafted. We drafted just 1. We drafted Garrett Greenfield. Dominique Pooney's a pretty versatile player, though. You can slide him in just about any place on the line, though. So kind of like a swing offensive lineman. We could draft. I don't think Dom likes Julian Pearl. I think Josiah Aziram is kind of well thought of. Anything on Travis Glover? Not really. Andrew Coker. Caleb Etienne. I've seen Ethan Driscoll. I've seen his name. I will definitely be researching these guys this week. And by the time you all come back next Wednesday, we'll all be experts. All right? Yeah, we'd have to hit free agency. We did pick up, so we picked up 2 offensive linemen. We picked up, if you want to look at this, 1 wide receiver, a running back, a tight end, because we picked up Bowers, safety, and I'm trying to hit the down. Oh, there it is. I'll get the recap. Here we go. Here it is. And Reimer. Okay, so we've made it's guys. Doesn't we've made 8 draft picks, and yet I feel like we're like, okay, but nothing that's like blowing our minds here. It's like a okay draft, and it's really all based on Brock Bowers. All right, well, we got to make one more pick here. Here's what I'll do. I'll either go Carter Bradley, I'll go Kingsley Aguakan to help shore up the interior line, and then you'd move like Tippmann to guard. That's another way to go. If you want to go with a wide receiver, I'll give you Anthony Gold. He's the top-rated wide receiver on the board. Yep, David D. Quarterback. Yep, Carter Bradley. That would be the guy. And cornerback, I'll give you DeCamerion Richardson, I guess. The top cornerback. So, HG's got to go. All right, good to see you, man. Have a good night, brother. All right, guys. If anybody has a preference on... Well, no, this draft may have us finishing last, but we don't know what happened in free agency. So, and no, we're not going to finish last. All right. I think I want to take a player who could potentially help quickly, so I'm going to leave out Bradley. I'm going to go. I think we're good at defense. Oh, there's Jalen Simpson. He was still available. Wow. Okay. Yeah, for this draft, there's definitely some things we could have done differently. I think I'm going to take Richardson because we know that a lot of our cornerbacks are hitting free agency. Let's build up the pipeline of cornerback. All right, and that'll be it for that. All right. So that is our first draft for tonight. Definitely not our most exciting one, but Brock Bowers, Dominique Pooney, Dwayne Carter, Javon Baker, Dylan Lobby, Garrett Greenfield, Josh Proctor, Luke Reimer, and DeCamerion Richardson. So I'd say I would call it a good draft. Not one that's overly exciting, but a good solid draft. So I go maybe about a BB minus draft, something like that. Just real quick. So Nick sent me a Jets mess. Yep, we got the linebacker. Well, we got the linebacker at 253. So that was our linebacker. But Nick, I believe, sent me a mock draft that he just did. I'm just going to read this one off to you. So at 20, he traded down Jackson Powers Johnson. So Jets fans 4 is already in love. Number 42, Byron Murphy. That was also part of the trade, the defensive tackle from Texas. 72, Xavier Leggett, wide receiver. 84, Cole Bishop. 114, Dwayne Carter. I love this. 253, Kendall Milton, running back from Georgia. 254, Anthony Goodlow, edge from Oklahoma State. And 257, Brennan Armstrong, quarterback from NC State. Go Pack. That's a pretty dang good draft. That is a good draft right there. Better than what we did. So in retrospect, maybe we should have taken the trade down rather than take Bowers. But hey, Nick put in the super chat to sabotage our draft so he can go have a great draft. That's what happened. Okay, well, let's get out of this one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do one more draft, but we're going to do it with the wheel. So if you were here last week, we busted out the wheel. All right, now I got to remember now I've got to click back and forth. All right, so hopefully everybody can see it. All right, I'm going to actually, I'm going to pull this one out and open it in a new, let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to try to give this its own window. Okay. All right, so hopefully this will work. So I've changed the wheel a little bit here. I've added a few more spaces. I've changed a few other things around as well. So hopefully it is not as defensive oriented. Okay. While we've actually with a question, the rumors that Odunze runs a 4.3, why doesn't it look like that on the tape? Is there a reason for his inconsistency if the rumors are true? I haven't heard anything about him having like a motor issue. Maybe he was banged up at that particular time. But no, I actually like Odunze a lot. I mean, of wide receivers the Jets could attain, I have him just above Neighbors. Marvin Harrison is obviously not possible, but I have Odunze. I actually happen to like Odunze quite a bit. But yeah, maybe he was this at the combine, the tape that you're talking about? I mean, I don't think they've started doing the drills yet. So, but no, I'm not really that worried about Odunze. But we'll see what happens. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to spin the wheel. and hopefully everybody can see it. I'll maximize it when we spin it, then I'll exit out of it. Is how we're going to do this. So I think that's going to be the best way to do it because I want to make sure everybody can read it. It should be blowing up. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, so let's spin the wheel, and then whatever we land on the wheel, that will guide what we have to do next. So let's do our first spin. Here is spin number 1. So with the 10th pick, we are going to have to do chat's choice. All right, so all the power is in your hands, guys. This is in the power of the chat. Let's go back over to the draft. So we are going to start the draft. Okay, so the first 9 picks have been made. And of course, Brock Bowers is still available. Okay, so we have 2 trade offers. So you all are going to make the decisions on here. Do you want to go with Bowers? Do you want to go with Fawaga, who's available? Or do you want to take one of the trades? Now, the Commanders are giving us another chance to redeem ourselves, offering us the 36, the 40, the 67, plus a second-round pick next year. The other now it's a pretty good trade. Wild Wave already wants me to take the trade. Okay. The other pick, this is interesting. We don't have to go as far back. We go from 10, actually, wait a second, 10 to, yeah, we go down only 16 spots instead of 26. All right. So we go to pick 26, get 57, 126, and a first next year, which could be pretty good considering it's Tampa Bay. So, all right. So with Tampa, it's 26, 57, 126. With Washington, it's 36, 40, and 67. So with Tampa Bay, you get the highest pick, but with Washington, you get the better depth. So this is a very, very interesting decision to make. I'm pretty confident we're going to be going with a trade here, but what trade do you want me to take? Considering a Washington second is going to be very good, but so would a Tampa Bay first. But you get better picks this year with Washington, but you get the highest value pick right now with Tampa Bay. Wow. Wow. I'm glad the choice is yours because you can make a good argument either way, but I think we're going with the trade. Wow, Wave, I want to make it a poll. I'm not sure how to do it. I know Nick did. All right, I'll tell you what I'll try to do. Let me see if I could. I have an idea. Let me try it this way. I'm going to create trying something here. Create a post. Let me try to do this. Public time. I know there's a way to create a poll. There has to be a way to do this, but I do not know how to do it. Because normally I could just do it right through my phone, but right now it is not letting me do it through the app. Let's try one other way. No, that's analytics. I don't want that. Community. Let me try community. Maybe I could do it here. I know this is the spot to create the friggin' poll, but I can't. Okay, here. Okay. I'm going to put it in the community. So, guys, let me know if you could see it. I don't know if it's going to come up on the show, but we're going to, I'm going to try to make this work. Okay, which trade should we take? Tampa Bay, Washington. All right. And let's see if I could post this. Let's go back to the Washington trade. Yeah, it's not letting me post this. I don't know why. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying, but unfortunately, it is not letting me do it. I don't know why I don't have the access, but I don't seem to. Okay. Right now. All right. So it looks like everybody wants to take. The majority is going with Tampa. All right. You have made your voices heard. So we are going to take the number two trade that'll give us 26, 57, 126, and a first next year. So let's accept the trade. All right. It was close, but that was the decision. Okay, so I'm gonna click off of this. Now let's go back to the wheel for pick 26. Let's see what happens if we get chat's choice again. There are two chat choice spots on there. There are also two trade spots on there. Let's spin the wheel. Here we go. And we're gonna have to pick a safety. Okay. This is going to turn out like last week, where it was one defensive player after another last week. Oh my God! All right. Well, I guess it's only appropriate that we have to do it tonight. So for me, there's really only two safeties. It's Cameron Kitchens, it's Tyler Nubin, but that's what we got to do with this pick. That's the deal, guys. That's the deal. So we're all here tonight for it. So Nubin or Kitchens. Wow, wait, if I can't make the trade with Dallas, we didn't land on a trade. We're not allowed to do it. That would not be a bad trade, though. I will say that. The Arizona trade would be fantastic. Wow. I don't feel like trading with Kansas City right now. I'm a little bit pissed at them. But yeah, we got it. We got to go with the safety. Guys, I'm not able to do it. That's the deal with the wheel. This is where we get crazy. All right, so it's got to be Nubin or it's going to be Kitchens. So, Nubin is my favorite, but you can make a very good argument for Kitchens as well. So, if anybody has a preference on that one, let me know. Chat filter, time messages, all messages. Oh, I still want to put a poll up here for you guys. I really do. All right. Mo Dean wants to take Bullock. I know, Mo. All right. All right. Looks like Nubin's got the edge here. All right. So I'm going to take Tyler Nubin to be our new star safety. Can you imagine the reaction that would get? McCagnon's back, right? All right. So now we're on pick 57. And our next pick after this is 72. All right. And so now we got to go back to the wheel. So let's do that. So with pick 72, let's see what we wind up getting. And we are going to go with an interior offensive lineman. All right. So this is going to address a need that we have. So this is good. So let's go back over to the draft. And I'm going to go to first offensive guard. Of course, Christian Haynes and Cooper Beebe are not available for us. So we can go with, let me scroll up here a little bit. No, I can't go any higher. Wow. All the guards went just that fast. Man, all right. So Haynes went. Oh, Jets mess with the $5 super chat. I got to go ahead and give you a little bit of love over there. Why can't I find everything? Yeah, because here's why. Firefox, come on, Firefox, work with me. There we go. All right, there we go. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Okay, Jake, this makes me puke less than safety. Mo just has a way of standing out. What can I say? All right, so at guard we have Pooney, Coleman, Mahogany. Let's scroll down a little more. We could take Zach Zinter. Zinter to me is a little bit rich to take now, but you could. At center, let's see if the centers are around. Cedric Van Pran is still around, but unfortunately, obviously JPJ was going to be gone, as was Zach Frazier. All right, so we could go with Van Pran. It's still weird to say that. Van Pran, Pooney, Coleman, or Mahogany. So I think any one of those four is who we're going to take with number 57. So guys, let me know who you want to take. Pooney, Coleman, Mahogany, or Van Pran. I guess we'll take Van Pran. I don't know. I don't know if he would have guard versatility, but all right, guys, any preference? Make your voices heard. All right. Mahogany cut. All right. Seems some love for Mahogany. All right. And we took Pooney on the last draft, so I think I want to go differently. I feel like Mahogany is like ranked a little bit higher consistently because with Brandon Coleman, I've seen third round on him. I've seen fifth or so round on him. I feel a little bit better about Mahogany, so I think right now I'm leaning towards Mahogany. Dane's asking about Puni Samoan. Oh, is he Samoan? No, he is not. Yeah, I've seen him. He is definitely not Samoan. All right. All right. I'm going to go with Christian Mahogany here. I think he's a very fierce, vicious tackle. He's had a few injury issues, which is a concern. But when he plays, he's very, very good. So we're going to take Christian Mahogany, maybe a little bit early, but you dance with the girl that you brought. Okay, now we go to pick 72, and just real quick, we got two offers. One from the Bears, which I don't have any interest in because I don't want an extra pick next year. And we got a pick from, we could make a trade with Cleveland as well and get 135 and moving down 13 spots. Okay. All right, let's go back to the wheel. And we are going to spin. So here we go. Let's spin that wheel. Oh, you guys want a Van Pran? Oh, came a little bit late. All right. Oh, cornerback. Okay. All right, so we're going to address the secondary again as if we hadn't already done that already. Okay, so let's go over to cornerback. Okay. So with this, I know Max Melton from Rutgers is very well thought of. I gotta watch the chat more. I wonder if the chat that I see on my cell phone is like behind real time. I have to click back and forth. The only thing is the viewing might be a little bit weird. So yeah, I want to make sure I'm not missing any chats from you guys. But Kalen Carson, DJ James, Max Melton, Chris Abrams, Drain. Any particular player that anybody wants there? I've heard some good things about Melton. I'm just going to click on these. So it's 6'0", 195, Kalen Carson. Great build with stellar proportional length. Very proficient. Technique and athleticism. Suffocating them with his biting competitive edge and proactive physicality. DJ James, nobody knows, but he's 6'1", 174. That's rather thin. Max Melton, 6'0", 190. We know nothing else. Chris Abrams-Rame, also one of the most productive cornerbacks. 14 passes defended, 5'11", 179. That's a little bit small, but not bad. All right. DJ James with DJ Reed, I see. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot of research on cornerbacks. There's certain positions, cornerback, linebacker, tight end, that I'm going to save for a little bit down the road because what I think we're probably going to do on the channel, the live show, offensive tackle next week. Then the next 2 weeks, we'll probably be doing free agents because that'll be the heart of free agency. Then I think what we'll do is a show on sleeper positions, and I'll focus on cornerback, linebacker, maybe even tight end as well. So I think that's probably what we're going to do there. I think I'm just going to combine them. Who played in the hardest competition? I would say DJ James. He played in Auburn, played in the Southeast Conference. Kalen Carson, the ACC, Rutgers in the Big Ten. So I'll go with DJ James. All right, that's 6'1", 174. All right, fine. That's what we'll do. DJ James. All right, hopefully we do not have to land on another secondary player again. And now we get 112 and 114, and I think we also have 126. Okay, let's go back to the wheel, and let's spin that wheel. And we've got a chat's choice again. All right, fantastic. So once again, the chat has the power, so we got to look at everything here, guys. All right, now as far as trade offers go, now remember, we picked 114. So if there's a player who we really like, there's a good chance we might get him in a little bit. So let's look at the trades. We've got only one trade offer, and it's from Cleveland. So Cleveland wants us to trade down 23 spots, go from 112 to 135, and they're going to give us 155 and 241. So if we were to do that, we'd have picks 114, 126, 135, 187. Yeah, 150. So we would have, we would definitely pick up some depth, for sure here. Now let's look at who's available. Let's see if there's a player that we really, really want. You have some very good running backs. You got your power running back here in Audric Estime. Let's see, Jalen Wright, another very good running back. Malik Washington, a wide receiver. People like him very, very much, rising up the draft boards. And remember, so far we've taken a safety, a guard, and a cornerback. We have not addressed tackle. We've not addressed wide receiver. All right, let's take a look. Any position. I think we want to look at wide receiver. So we could take a Brendan Rice, for instance. We could take Malik Washington. I think those would be very good picks. And again, we make the trade. We could get one of them at 114. At tackle, let's see. We've got Christian Jones. We've got Javon Foster, Matt Goncalves. We've got this one. I'm pretty sure this guy right here is Samoan. I sincerely hope. All right. We took our guard, so that's pretty good. All right. Jet wants to go tackle or wide receiver, so you're leaning against the trade. Okay. Start with this, guys. Trade or no trade? Let me know that. Trade, no trade. Put that down there in the comments. All right, I'm going to flip over real quick to the let's get out of there. All right, I'm pulling the chat up just so I can make sure I'm seeing your messages in real time. So it's going to look a little weird on screen, but that's about the only way I can see it in real time. All right, so trade, no trade. You guys tell me, okay? Trade, we might have a better draft. No trade, we might actually be here till 1:30 in the morning. No. I'll make sure we're out of here in a reasonable time. Modine, I'll take that under advisement. All right, Jake wants to trade. Dane, that's what I do every week. I don't watch much college football during the year. I educate myself by reading the reports, watching videos. That's why I do one position a week, just so I can really break these players down and figure stuff out. I'm not saying I'm Dom C. God knows I'm not, but I want to at least be knowledgeable about different players. So I think I'm kind of getting there. Okay, right now the chat is leaning trade, so we are going to accept that trade right now. And Estime and Johnny Dixon went. Okay, now we're at pick 114. We're going back to the wheel. Let's maximize that wheel and let's spin it. All right. And we are going to land on linebacker. Oh, man. Now it's starting to feel like last week. Dang it. All right. So now we have to draft a linebacker. So this is why when you have Chad's choice, just take whatever the hell is out there. All right, so I've got to get back to the simulator. There we go. All right, so I think Eichenberg should be available. He is, but there's a lot of players here. Jalen Ford from Texas, Curtis Jacobs from Penn State, Aaron Casey from Indiana. All right, let's see if there's any scouting reports. Jalen Ford, 6'3", 243. Curtis Jacobs, 6'1", 227. Aaron Casey from Indiana. Well, I think we should probably go with Curtis Jacobs, right? Because it's linebacker U. I mean, Jalen Ford is rated very, very well, but should we go with linebacker U or should we go with the highest ranked linebacker on the board? I feel like we should go with one of the two. All right. So, all right. So I'll go back to the chat. Jake's been wanting to go linebacker for years. Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? I think I am getting these at the same rate. I just checked. So, okay. I could just follow the chat here. All right. So, all right. Let's see a vote for Curtis Jacobs. Okay. Yep. These are some of the players that I'll have to be researching over the next few weeks. So, all right, Curtis Jacobs. And just think about the mock drafts that we're doing now versus what we're going to be doing in April. And we're going to look back at February and just laugh at what we were doing at the time. We're just going to get better and better together. All right, so that is now pick 126. We have one trade offer if needed. So we have 126, and then we're going to have 135 as well. All right, so let's go back to the wheel and let's spin. And we are landing on trade if offered. Okay, so what this means is we have to accept the trade that we're being given, or we could counter it. We could counter the trade, but we got to take a trade. And it's going to be with the Carolina Panthers. They want to trade us 141 and 165 in exchange for 126 and 257. All right, so let's see if there's anything here to counter. There isn't going to be a whole heck of a lot. They've only got 2 picks left, and dear God, oh my God. You know what? Maybe I could package 241, like 180. Maybe I could package 187 and like 254 for 180, just so we get out of here at a reasonable hour. I'm going to try that. Let's just expand this a little bit. I'm just curious if this would work. I want to make this reasonable. Okay, that didn't work. All right. I know we have a sick amount of picks. Mo, I know I could take away 257, but god dang, I don't know how long we could be here. All right, if I take out 257, they'll accept it. But I want to see if I can get a better pick with 180 and give them something back. I'll tell you what. I'll offer them 187 and move back. It's one less pick. Let's try this. So they accepted the trade. Ooh, some good guys went in Zinter and Oladapo. Okay, so now we have 135, 141, 155, 165, 180, 241, and 253. Oh my God. Wow. We're going to be cutting some players at the end of this. All right, let's go to the wheel. All right, so let's maximize it and let's spin. We might wind up drafting like six defensive players here. All right, we're getting an offensive tackle. All right, let's go right to it, and let's draft a new tackle for this team. All right, there's the simulator. So we're going straight to tackle. Let's see who's available. Javon Foster, Ladarius Henderson, Christian Jones, and Garrett Greenfield are the top 4 tackles on the board. I will draft any one of these tackles, whoever you want me to take. So we know we got some Christian Jones fans here. I would be happy with that. Ladarius Henderson as well. Javon Foster too. And then Garrett Greenfield, who's kind of the riser, but ranked a little bit lower. So, chat, what tackle would you like me to go with? Any preferences on this? All right, Harlan Abraham wants Javon Foster. Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once, going twice? All right, looks like we're leaning towards Foster. All right, let's just go. And we got him. And now we're at pick 141, and we get to pick again. We got to go back to the wheel, guys. Here we go. Let's spin that wheel. I'll maximize it real quick. And we're going to go to Critics' Choice, the chat's choice again. So we're getting a lot of chat's choices tonight. So you guys have the say on this pick. All right, let's look at the big board and see what's there. Let's also pull up what we've picked. We've drafted a safety, a premium safety, a guard, a cornerback, a linebacker, and an offensive tackle. So we've got 2 offensive linemen, and we've got 3 pieces for the defense. We have not picked a playmaker yet. We have not picked a running back or a wide receiver. So maybe we should go that direction. All right, let's look at offense here. Tight end, I'm just kidding. Running back, so there's some good pieces here in Dylan Lobby. Dylan Johnson's pretty good. Johnson and Davis, I have more towards the back of my rankings. I like Ray Davis and Jawad Jordan a little bit more. So Lobby, Davis, and Jordan would be my 3, not necessarily in that order. Wide receiver, you got some options in Pearsall and Rice. I think Brendan Rice would be a great addition. Yep, the chat seems to agree as well. So, yeah, unless anybody has any other thoughts, I think Brendan Rice is the way to go here. Just to read about him really quick, they have a scouting report on him, but not his measurables. But 27 receptions, 419 yards, 5 touchdowns in 17 games, can kick return as well. Then he transferred to USC, set career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Tall vertical playmaker. Oh my God. Okay, look at the bottom there, guys. Look at this. 6'3", 205 pounds, but somehow they forgot to put that up here. I'm just saying. Can we get the guy who does the description to put in the measurables? Is that asking too much? All right. So he's kind of a raw player, but he has a lot of potential, and I'm sure Aaron Rodgers can make him really, really good. All right. We are taking Brendan Rice. Nice. We got a wide receiver. I like it. All right. Now we go to pick 155. We have one trade offer from the Bengals. Well, let's see. We got to go back to the wheel again. I got to write down like all the. I used to track Green Beans drafts, and then I stopped doing that because he didn't ask me to give any information about him. So I got to track ours and just see how they change, like wheel, no wheel drafts. All right. All right, let's spin the wheel for pick 155 into, I think we're about the fifth round now, right near the fifth round. This is close. It's wide receiver. All right, so we got to go wide receiver for a second straight draft pick. And I know McCaffrey is on the board. I'm pretty sure he didn't get picked yet. Oh, did he go? Oh my, yeah. Oh, McCaffrey did go. Oh, McCaffrey went to the Patriots right after we picked him, along with Ricky Pearsall and Jalen Coker. A lot of receivers went. Okay. All right. These receivers. Okay. So we have Taj Washington. All right. Let's read a little bit. 3 straight years at USC, 43 receptions, 602 yards, 1 season at Memphis before transferring. So this is more of a slot receiver who can also kick return, reliable playmaker, more of a complementary piece. Hard to see him continuing his success against better competition. Ainias Smith from Texas A&M, only 5'9", 197, a coach's dream, used as a sniffer and a willing run blocker. You know the Jets love that against large humans. Experienced at wide receiver and running back, very willing pass protector. That doesn't sound too bad. I think I'm leaning Smith more. I'll look at Jaquan Jackson, and nothing there. And Jordan Whittington, slot receiver, built more like a running back, 6'0", 204 pounds, not very athletic. Natural hands catcher will find holes in zone coverage, get in space quickly. Whittington sounds like more of a project. I feel best about Smith from Texas A&M. All right. I don't know if anybody's going to have a big preference on that, but I'm going to go with Ainias Smith. Let's just do that. All right, 165. There was no way. And oh my God, if we get the trade if offered, I got to spin the wheel. If we land on trade if offered, I may cry because look how pathetic this trade is that the Raiders are offering us. Or put it this way, I'll do a trade, but there's going to be a lot of countering going on. Actually, let's just say, on what planet would anybody make this trade? You know the trade I would make? I'll trade him like 180 for all those picks, or 241 for 232. I'll do that. But that's about it. That trade sucks. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's spin the wheel and pray we don't have to make a trade. Okay. So we have landed. This is a new space I created. The highest ranked player. So whoever the highest ranked player is on their board, regardless of position, we got to draft him. All right. So there's no talk here. We're just going with the best player available. And it is going to be Keith Randolph Jr., defensive tackle from Illinois, a really, really good run stopper. And you know what? I think that's a fantastic pick. We don't have a defensive tackle in this draft, and I think he's very good. Now, we did play next to Johnny Newton, but hey, he'll be playing next to Quinnen Williams. So I'm good with that. We're going to take Keith Randolph Jr. And on to round 6 we go. How many more picks do we have at this point? I think 3, maybe 4. 4 picks left. 180, 241, 253, 254. All right, guys. We're getting towards the finish line here. We're getting there. I'm gonna try to get this done by midnight for sure, though. All right, let's go to the wheel. And let's spin that wheel. And it is going to land on, oh, dear God, safety. All right, we got to draft another safety. All right. All right. Well, this is the night for safeties, quite clearly. So let's go there and let's see who we've talked about is still available. And there's some good ones. Josh Proctor, who we took in the last draft. You know, I like Trey Taylor. We mentioned him. Sione Baki is more of that run stopper. So Taylor and Baki are pretty similar players. I don't know if we have like a true center. So Newman would really be your center fielder because we drafted him. So it's kind of okay to get that downfield safety as well. And I'll tell you what, you combine Newman, Tony Adams, and one of these safeties, you've got something to work with. So, all right. So we can go with Proctor, Taylor, or Baki. I'll go with one of them, or even Jalen Simpson if you want to look at Jalen Simpson. Any one of those guys would be fine. All right. So if anybody has a Jake, anyone think Wicker is running draft the way that just did for most of the last century? Spin the wheel. Hey, you know what? You can spin the wheel, but at least come up with a wheel that works. All right, but maybe they did. You know, there's certain years. Maybe that explains Kyle Brady or Johnny Mitchell or Roger Vick or Kyle Wilson. I don't know. All right, guys. So Josh Proctor would be a very good option. So would Trey Taylor. Again, the winner of the Jim Thorpe Award for Best Defensive Back in the country. Vaki is sort of that two-way threat, but doesn't have a lot of experience. So yeah, I'm gonna go Proctor. I'm gonna go Taylor. I'm happy either way. All right, we'll go with Proctor for the competition. Chat seems to be saying it. We'll go with Proctor again. All right, so we've got a pretty good safety room right now. And now we go down to pick 241. All right, 3 picks to go. All right, let's maximize the wheel. Let's pull it up here. Now let's spin the wheel. And we are landing on, keep going. Defensive tackle. I was hoping to get any skill position player, but we got to draft the defensive tackle. All right, let's see who's available. Okay, Evan Anderson. I don't know him very well. Marcus Harris is pretty good. I think that's a good piece. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, see if there's anyone else here I know. Not really. I got to be honest. Marcus Harris is the only one that I know. Pretty good run stopper. Anything on Jalen Hutchings? I doubt at this point. Nah, not really. All right, guys. If everybody's okay with it, I'm just going to take Marcus Harris. Just to speed it up a little bit. Okay, and then we got 2 picks left, 253 and 254. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to spin twice in a row here. And we're going to go with a quarterback. Okay. So that'll be 253, and I'm going to spin 254 right now, too. Just to close this out. And it'll be an interior offensive lineman. All right. Okay, so that's it for the wheel for the night. Let's minimize that. All right, so we're going to go with a quarterback. And, yep, definitely the quarterback to get. I think it's got to be Carter Bradley from South Alabama. I think he's becoming a bit of a favorite amongst us. So the next one would be Brennan Armstrong, and he is rated way, 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 way lower. Yeah. I'm just looking at some of these other guys who are out there. Yeah, Phil Jerkovich, good name. Man, they rate some guys 572. They got some of these quarterbacks rate. Really? Wow. All right, let's go with. We'll take Carter Bradley at 253, and finally we got to take an interior offensive lineman. Now Jacob Monk from Duke has a pretty good rating at 259. Let's see if there's anybody else. I'm guessing Dylan McMahon was taken. All right. Let's see if Kingsley's available. Kingsley Aguakin? That doesn't look like it. No. Oh, well, didn't want to do that. Dylan went at 246, and Kingsley went at 234. All right, so they already went. Okay. Anybody have any preferences on this, or would you like me to just kind of close it out? Matthew Lee, backup center. I mean, we did take an interior offensive line. We took Mahogany, so we took a pretty dang good guard. I feel like we should just take Jacob Monk Best one available. Yeah, agreed. Okay, guys. Very good. That's the draft. Holy shit. 12 picks, and we got a first-round pick in 2025. Now let's pray Joe Douglas is able to use. All right, so we took – oh, my God. People are going to see this draft and they think we're on acid. Tyler Newman, safety. Christian Mahogany, guard. DJ James, cornerback. Curtis Jacobs, linebacker. Javon Foster, tackle. Brendan Rice. Notice, by the way, that 6 picks in a row are all trades. Unbelievable. We were wheeling and dealing. Just like Ric Flair. Brendan Rice, wide receiver. Anais Smith, wide receiver. Keith Randolph, defensive tackle. Josh Proctor, safety. Marcus Harris, defensive tackle. Carter Bradley, quarterback. Jacob Monk, guard from Duke. And a 2025 first-round pick from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My God. All right. Well, that was one heck of a draft. That was one heck of a night. Let's get out of here there. By the way, Jake, I agree. I think Mangini was one of the worst in-game coaches I ever saw, especially considering the talent that he had to work with. Yep, he and Tannenbaum built a very good team, but in terms of timeouts, when to go for it, when to kick, he had no idea what to do. No idea. Sorry. No idea what to do. That's just my thoughts. A lot of people really miss Mangini, but I think there's a little bit of infatuation with that first year. But as an in-game coach, terrible. So just my opinion on that. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to call that a night. We've gone almost 3 hours. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Just mention one or two things. Next week, we will talk offensive tackle. And I think other than that, remember, memberships are now available for the very first time as of today. Right now, we just have the one tier, $4.99. If that grows, then maybe I'll add another tier, maybe with some live streaming or something like that during various games, whatever games they may be. But if that's something that you all are interested in, then let me know and we'll get it set up. But that is it for tonight's show. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. And also check out Nick's show tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll have a chance to get on, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. We'll see you later, everybody.